Shirt show. All right, let's go.
Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Shirt man! All right! Episode 259 of Shirt Show! We're talking with Shawn from Brigade Screen Printing in Idaho! Let's go!
Hey guys, my name is Dylan. I am the owner of Upstate Merch and also the host of the Shirt Show podcast. Today it was just me and my wonderful guest Shawn of Brigade Screen Printing. I say this almost every time, but this one was really fun. Like, me and Shawn found out that we have a lot in common, and he has a really rad print shop. His shop had this accidental, wonderful thing happen where they basically started an online store for a teacher who was told to take down a poster in her room that was basically saying, "Everyone here is welcome." And it blew up. He didn't expect it. It wasn't, he thought he was just going to give away some shirts to support this teacher, but it turned into this huge thing that caught the news and it blew up. So you can hear the whole story in this podcast. We also talked about a bunch of other stuff, and we went on a bunch of fun tangents. This was a really good, fun one. We talked a lot about like printing above your means. So basically, like, when we're young and dumb and ignorant, as a shop owner, we say yes to everything. And then, things happen where we get this massive job and we're like, we try to take it even though we shouldn't. And luckily, both of us, it didn't happen, which probably would have ruined us. We talked a good amount about whether or not we should take on promo as a shop. The answer is probably yes, but we are new to this as far as promo, and we kind of discussed whether we should or shouldn't. We also dove into, what it's like to be the kind of person who wants to be a business owner or wants to, even for a career of like, do you want to be a printer? Do you want to be an electrician? Do you want to do this? Like, are you excited to get up in the morning and have that be your day? So it was kind of cool. I like this one. That aside, I did want to mention shirtshowofficial.com has a brand new website. We have had one for a while that was kind of just a landing page. One of the new things that I wanted to introduce was this new and improved website where we're going to try to put a bunch of industry knowledge on there. Shop hacks is something that's coming. It's not a tab yet. It will be. We're going to try to have every shop hack that we've talked about and links to products or links to descriptions of how you do that shop hack. That's something that's in the works, so keep an eye out for that. We also have the Shirt Show merch store, which is just basically fun shirts that we're going to start making that have to do with the show or topics we talked about. So be sure to go check that out. We have some cool collabs coming up too with the Tonal. So we're going to have some Shirt Show hats that are from them. I've asked a couple times on stories now for people to sign up for the newsletter. So every week we're going to have a newsletter that comes out that was about the episode that came out before, what's happening, what events we're going to go to, or just industry stuff that we know is coming up or cool things that you can check out. Anything that I can put in there that might help somebody or just like be, hey, this is what we're doing, or maybe it's just about the episode. I don't know. If you want to hang out with us or just be in the know, sign up for the newsletter. You can sign up at shirtshowofficial.com to the bottom, or I will post it in stories more often so you guys can sign up there. I appreciate you guys so much. The show has been really fun lately with all your guys' input and suggestions and shops that we should talk to. Keep it coming. If you want to hear certain things, DM me. I'm always open to talk about shop stuff. If you want to just talk about your print day, whatever, I'm here for it. I'm an open book when it comes to that. I will help you out if I can, or I will point you in the direction of somebody I know that can help you out. And speaking of that, the show would not be possible without our amazing partners. Frank. It all starts with a screen. Whether it's new stretches or restretches, Frank and his team do it the best. The tool alone, like the best screen out there. Like, yeah, you might be that guy who stretches your own Newmans or whatever, but if you're doing static frames, like nothing beats Frank's screens. Like, by far, every shop I visit, GSF frames. So if you don't have GSF frames in your shop, do yourself a favor, go to his website, order a sample pack. Like, just get a couple. Like, even talking to Frank on the phone alone will change your mind. So do yourself a favor, go to graphicscreenfashion.com, greatfuckingscreens.com or FFFFFrank.com. Get some Frank screens if you don't have them already. And if you do, hell yeah, you're doing great. You're on your way to success. Cleaning screens is no fun, but EasyWay makes it way more funner. Their line of eco-friendly chemicals and equipment make reclaiming screens a whole lot easier. Right now is also a great time to check them out because they reached out recently and said that they're doing monthly giveaways now, which could be really sweet for you. They are going to do a $250 product credit every month. So why not sign up and just see if you can get that? That's like, a 5 of chemical. That's dumb not to do. Head over to easyway.com/giveaway to enter today. EasyWay is the easiest way, baby. Graphics is your source for production-ready digital art and remote art staffing. They can help any size shop from just starting out to enterprise level. Looking to add a hero to your art department? Check out graphicsource.com. Great people. Nick, Wood, it's just the best humans out there. SNS Activewear and Alpha Broder are integrating to become your premier partner for the apparel industry. With one website, one purchase order, and 14 distribution centers with over 100 beloved brands, you can streamline your ordering process and hit free freight even faster. SNS has 1 to 2 day shipping with the lowest error rate in the industry. That alone is worth it. They are amazing, best customer service. It's just a no-brainer. Don't forget they have combined net term limits to benefit your business like never before. Be sure to order your blanks from ssactivewear.com. Today's episode was brought to you by American Apparel, makers of the iconic 2001 tee. Soft, fitted, and always in style, this shirt has been the go-to for brands, bands, and print shops for decades. If you want a shirt that people actually want to wear, start with the 2001. For over 90 years, Stahl's has been the leading choice among apparel decorators for their heat transfer materials, heat press equipment, and custom transfer services. Not only do they offer some of the best products, but they are always looking to innovate and educate in our industry on all things heat press. Head over to stahls.com to order your transfers and check them out on YouTube to be taught a thing or two. The best in the business. They're great people, great products. They got it nailed down. Again, thank you so much to everybody listening, watching, however you're taking in this podcast. I appreciate you looking at my dumb mug once a week. If you could, give us a like, a follow. I hate asking for it. I don't want to, but apparently it's necessary to keep the algorithms and people, whatever. I don't care. I just love you, appreciate you. If you do me a solid, like it, leave us a review. Post this on socials and say, hey, this is what I'm printing while I'm listening. Or, hey, I'm eating a hot dog while I'm listening to your show. That's cool too. Appreciate you. Enjoy the episode. See you next time. What's up, dude?
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. It's a Tuesday, end of work day.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't even know what day it is. I was trying to figure out what year it was. I've been so busy.
Well, we've never met before other than just talking on Instagram, but I have to ask you, is it your trademark to have sunglasses on your hat at all times or what?
It's become that, yeah. And with the croquis, the croquis has kind of become my thing. I didn't mean it to be. It wasn't like the Apple always having a mock collar and every video. It just has become
Right.
that now. And now I almost feel naked without them. But yeah, if I need to take them off, they're good about reflection. We could take them off.
It was funny because I was kind of thinking that a little bit and then watching your videos. And then I saw one the other day. I think it was a story. Maybe it was a reel. I don't know. But you were indoors at an event live printing and you had the sunglasses on. I was like, dude, it's fucking nighttime and indoors.
Yeah, I get that a lot. It's kind of that classic song, Sunglasses Inside,
Yeah.
It's honestly just a feel thing. Almost my head feels light without them. And even without the croquis, it feels that way. But now I almost have to wear it now because people don't recognize me without them. It has become a thing.
Are you a hat person, like an always hat person?
Dude, I sleep in them.
Yeah,
People don't
me
even
too.
recognize me when
I literally feel naked without a hat on. If I have to go somewhere or do something where I have to have my hat off, I literally do this because I do it now, just as a tick of I take my hat off. I always adjust it. I do this thing.
Yeah.
There's times where I have no hat on and I will do this. I will reach for it. I have no hat, but it's just something I do because I'm so used to just having that adjustment. Or if you, I don't know, maybe you feel tense or awkward or something. The first thing to do is to adjust your hat or whatever.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I have those same ticks. I was trying to, as you were talking, I was trying to think back why or what started me wearing a hat because in school and in high school, they wouldn't let you wear a hat. Like it was a thing, a rule, you couldn't wear a hat. And so I don't know if it was like this, I'm out, I can wear a hat now, or what it was, but I always have hats. I mean, luckily now with what I do, right, it's like, oh, fresh hat, new hat, fresh hat, new hat. Somewhere in a box buried somewhere in this shop is every hat that I've ever owned, ever worn. They all have memories, right?
And that box smells so bad.
Oh, dude, I don't even want to know. But it is. I don't know. Do you feel that way? Like when you have a hat, you can like look at it and go, oh, that was when this happened.
Yeah, for sure.
I met my wife, right? Like I
have an enormous dome. So like I wear an 8, if not like an 8 1/4.
Yeah, I'm on the last 2 dots, and that's only 2 dots.
No, I can't do snapbacks. So I do fitted, but I do 8s. And I have to like special order my hat online. And then when I get it, I have like, patches from friends and whatever. So I'll apply them here, but I have to order special ones. I do have a bunch of old hats, but again, I wear them until they are dank and like just unwearable because they're stinky, which sounds disgusting. So sorry, but I will toss one then, and then I will get a fresh one. So
I'll wear mine till it starts like breaking out my forehead, and then I'm like, oh, okay, it's time for it.
It's such a gross thing to say. I fully agree. I understand. I'm just saying that it's like, oh yeah, I wear this until it's starting to eat my flesh away. Then I'll make the switch. So anyway, you are Shawn. You are the owner of Brigade Screen Printing, or how do you just say Brigade? Like, what do you say?
Yeah, Brigade Screen Printing. We'll get through my story, but every company I own has something Brigade, right? Like we have had a photo booth company, Brigade Photo Booth, Brigade Wake Surfing. You can see the surfboard. So everything's Brigade something. So everyone here makes sure they say screen printing or screen printing and embroidery, because everyone would be like, well, which company, which of the brigades, which one are we doing? But
that's funny. So you own multiple things now, or was that just over the years, like different things that have happened?
Yeah, I've owned lots of companies throughout the year, and some of them, evolve, sell, die out, don't work out anymore. But it all kind of started with the first company I ever did, which was Brigade Wake Surfing. And built the surfboards in my garage, and that's where the whole Brigade thing kind of came to be. And so then when we started building surfboards, then shirts happened. But that's a whole story we can kind of really dig into from the beginning.
Yeah, because I generally, before I do these shows, Christina writes me these like comprehensive, like long ass notes, which is amazing because it gives me like the gist of kind of like what happened to you. And then it's like, oh shit, like I should definitely talk about this. You kind of had like a very interesting story before you even got involved.
Yeah.
So the first thing I heard was that right out of high school, you went to be an electrician.
Yeah. That's kind of the start of my story. I grew up in a small little farm town called Emmett, Idaho. It's just like 25 minutes from Boise. It's called Over the Hill. There's this one hill that goes into this beautiful valley of Emmett. We're known for our cherries and kind of this just podunk little place. And it's one of those towns. I was telling her during our post meeting that like it's sad to say, but it's like the most meth per capita. Like it's a really bad place because it's just there's nothing to do, right? Kids don't have anything to go play, go see. Like there's not a Dave and Buster's, right? It's like you get in trouble, you do drugs, or you have a kid, and it's kind of a tough town in the sense of growing up. And everyone always says no one makes it over the hill, right? Everyone that lives in Emmett sits stuck in Emmett, and you just kind of end up. And the people that make it over the hill to Boise, that you're one of the rare breeds. So I'm one of the rare breeds. And so right out of high school.
Well, real quick, the thing about that too is like I fully relate to that because I'm not even in a town. I'm in a village. Like I think town status is 1,000 people or more, and I am in a village because we're at like 990 or something.
Wow.
So it's like, well, I didn't know that either until I had to look it up because I was like, why am I in a village? Like, this doesn't make it like there's no like huts. Like, what are we, why are we called this? But yeah, I fully get that because having this business here and we're kind of like a bigger business in town is, at the point I am in my life now, I kind of have a little bit of responsibility to like, I want to do stuff in this town. Like I just got back from Tyler at TC's place in Arkansas, and we were walking through his town, and they have cool shit. They have like murals and they have art and they have like, they like dressed up the town. Like it's stupid stuff, even like flower pots and stuff all over the place. And it's like, we need more of that in my town to just give it life, give it some, respectability and all this other stuff. And the town's super nice. Like, it's whatever. But just like you said, like, you roll into a small town like this and you're like, oh, this is a cute little town. And I love it here. I don't want to move. I love this place. But also it's the same as like you said, it's like, there's just like meth everywhere, or there's like all this like internal like drug stuff and whatever. And it's like, there's nothing to do. Like, if you really think about it, there's nothing to do in this town other than like get gas or order pizza. You know what I mean? There's no like entertainment. There's no skate park. There's no whatever. And that's something I've always wanted to do with upstate, is like right next door is like kind of like a beat down grassy area. It's fenced in and it's like abandoned, whatever. I want to buy that and turn it into a park and skate park where it's just, I'm not expecting anything. There's no money. I just want to do it because it'd be nice green space like out front. Just to have something in the town where kids can go do. Now, granted, they might just go there and do meth, but
right.
You know what I mean? Like, at least it's a nicer place.
At least they can still Instagram it while they're doing it, right? And it looks nice.
Yeah. But anyway, like, all that being said, like, it is nice to, I have all these friends that have shops in all these beautiful cities and all this other stuff, but it's like, I'm proud of my small over the hill town. You know what I mean? Like, I want to do cool shit here. So looks like you're trying to do something similar.
No, I love the way you say that. There is this really deep inside core thing that kind of just wants to make your family that lives there proud, your teachers that help you get over the hill proud, like just something that makes you go, hey, you guys put that little bit of extra effort in me to make sure I made it over the hill and I'm willing to do cool things. And I make sure it's a point, like it's always kind of the start of my story. I grew up in Emmett, Idaho, so that if any other kid that's in that town right now going, man, this place sucks and I've got all these ideas, but there's nothing to do, like maybe my story can give someone, even if it's just one person, that opportunity to go, it's possible, right? Like, you just put in the work and the effort and climb over that hill to the bigger town, like it may happen. And then, I would love to go back to my town. There's always been like this, put Brigade on the old high school football field and, sponsor the team and make their jersey, like do something that just says that thank you back to the town. Because there is something inside of me that is the small town dog in me that's just like, nah, you can't work harder than me. You can't fight harder than me. You haven't seen what I've seen, right? And these guys are in the bigger cities that have always had, multimillionaire companies coming in going, yeah, we'll take 10,000 shirts tomorrow. Like, no, dude, I had to fight for every hat, every shirt, everything I ever did. I feel like there's a little bit of a chip, a little bit of a badge on me that I'm proud of because of that.
Yeah, I get that. So anyway, it kind of feeds into the small town thing. You're feeling your way out, or maybe your start into life is the electrician thing.
Yeah. My dad was a custom home contractor. And so that was kind of always the plan as I was going through high school. I knew I didn't want to do college. I wanted to just get right into the workforce. And so I was going to take over his company and just start building homes. And at the time, the girl I was dating, we went to like a church dance or something. And a guy that I did a internship with through high school as an electrician said, hey, I'm looking for a new guy. And so I literally worked in the office and cleaned desks and really didn't do anything, but then got into the electrical field and actually found out I really enjoyed it. It was, there was good money in it. So I went through all my apprenticeship and was a journeyman, was an electrician for almost 11 years, right out of high school. Was one of the youngest guys. I kind of got that nasty vibe on job sites where it's like, how's this, 22-year-old kid telling me what to do? And these 40, 50-year-old guys have been in construction forever. And I got to the point where I just wasn't waking up excited anymore. I'd kind of built that up and done everything I could. I was telling Christine that everything I do is kind of like a video game. I'm not a huge gamer, but I kind of treat life as a game where it's like, you blow the cartridge out, you put that in, you play the level, and then, that boss beat me, crap. All right, well, how do I fix that? And, but then once you beat the game, it's kind of like, I need a new game. And so I had gotten to that point with electrical work and was just tired of doing it and didn't want to work in the field and put the boots on and work in the snow. And at that point, I had an old friend, Nick Scott from high school, reach out to me kind of out of the blue and said, hey, let's go snowboarding. I want to talk with you. I got an idea. And what he was involed in at that time.
He's like, I have a timeshare. I'm wondering if you're in.
Yeah. Let's go into this room. Let's sit down on this chair. He's like, let's go snowboarding. I just want to pick your brain a little bit. And what he had been involved in is wake surfing. It was back in like 04, 05, back when it was super new. No one knew what wake surfing was. It was wakeboarding, kneeboarding, and anything else behind the boat. And he thought that it was going to be the next big thing. He's like, this could be the next skateboarding. This could be the next wake surfing. This is the big thing. And so I said, you know what? I could just see the glimmer in his eyes. And there was this feeling that I hadn't felt before where I was like, I can actually help someone. I had some money. I was making good money as an electrician. And it's like, let's make a dream happen for someone. And I said, let's do it. And so I kind of signed a blank check. I'll back you and let's start building this out. And so we cleared my house out, cleared the garage out, put visqueen on the walls, and started building surfboards in the middle of Boise, Idaho. Had no idea what we were doing, didn't know how to do it, and kind of learned by trial and error, screwed up the first 40 boards. And at that time also was really in the peak of when Instagram had just really came to the scene. And so it was great algorithms, the organic was huge. And so we built this.
God, I miss those times so much when it comes to business, because it was like anything you did was seen. Yeah. Because it was always in order. You know what I mean? Do you remember the days of like scrolling through Instagram and you hit the thing at the bottom and it was like, you have seen all there is to see. Like that doesn't exist anymore. Like I miss being like, everything's in chronological order of like all of your friends posted. You're going to view them until you're done. Like,
boy, there's a business right there. Just bringing that back, man.
Yeah, someone needs to do it. But the problem is there's so much enticing money out there to be like, oh, well, we'll just add a couple ads, or we'll just add a couple of this, and then it's like off the rails. But yeah. So we were able to use that kind of organic feed from Instagram to build this. We really were creating a fake brand of Brigade Wake Surfing. We hadn't built a product yet, but we knew how to be cool, and we knew wake surfing was cool, and girls in bikinis on boats in the lake was cool, right? And so we were just building this brand out on the lake, and it was the first time in my life since high school where I was like, I'm excited to wake up. There's another thing I can think about. There's another something I can build. Yeah. And so I was like, this is, that entrepreneurial bug hit me at that point. And so not to get too deep into the wake surfing thing, but we built that up for, I still have it, but we're 12 years now with the wake surfing. At its peak, we had almost 400 dealerships all over the world. It's the company that has completely changed and evolved my life. I met my wife on the back of the boat. I've got a friend and a family member in every city. I've got a couch to sleep on in any country. I've got to sit on the bench at the Quicksilver House on North Shore, like just some of the coolest things ever in my life. Yeah. And on nothing but just sweat, tears, building surfboards in a garage as fast and as hard as we could. So was it all just making boards? Like, was it just its own brand of board basically? Or did you get deeper than that?
Yeah, we were kind of playing the small town. We live in that small town thing again, where it's like, hey, there's the Liquid Forces and the Hyperlights, and they're building this huge brand. It's like
we're just two dudes in a garage.
Yeah, so we lived off that. Like everyone hopes and wishes that those guys can beat them and then buy them out, And so we lived that brand, and so we were just building surfboards that were very unique in the sense of, instead of going to your normal boat dealership and picking a board off the rack, we would customize it and do whatever graphic you wanted. You wanted your truck on the bottom. You wanted you were an artist. You could create whatever you wanted. So it was all one-off, custom-made stuff. And then also shaped and designed, and whatever you wanted fit to, a 100-pound girl versus a 400-pound dude. We're going to build a board that works for you, and just have that personal relationship. That's where I really learned my sales tactics, in the sense of like, let's just actually be who these people are, know what they want, and give them a product they care about. And so
that was kind of like the first introduction you had to basically having clients that wanted custom stuff. Because as an electrician, you're just like, all right, I'm going in and doing this task.
Yep. You're looking
like
at
it's nothing. Yeah, there's nothing, whatever. But this kind of gets you involved in the aspect of customer service and creating custom products. Absolutely. And I learned a lot in the sense of like, not everybody can get what they want. Custom isn't cost efficient. I learned that people that can afford this sport, which the boards are cheap because the boats are $400,000, $500,000. It's a 1%er's really a world. And so you're dealing with clients that are used to it, getting everything they want as fast as they need it and in any aspect. And so you're dealing with headaches. My mom's going to pay for it. Give me whatever I want.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, legit, we're talking to the kid's dad that owns all of the Dutch Bros, right? Like it's crazy who we're dealing with. But I learned a lot in that sense. And I also learned don't overpromise. Don't say you're going to do something and then underpromise that. So it was a huge brand sales, how much commitment, how much money you have to put into a business to really make it work. And then how that kind of transitions into the screen printing and embroidery side of it is like, if you're going to own a surf company, you got to have merch. There's nothing cooler than being the Quicksilver, Roxy, Hurley, and those were the shirts I was wearing. And so it's like, I can make my own. And so that's where we're like, okay, let's go to a screen printing shop. Let's go find a place to make our merch. And so we went to every place in town. Nobody would do it at the time we needed, at the price we needed. It was all these crazy, the minimums were extreme. And then when we finally found someone, showed up wrong. And I just me and my girlfriend, wife now, sat there and went, what are we doing? Like, let's just figure this out. We learned how to build surfboards. Let's learn how to screen print. So we bought just a shitty little silver press off of
that fucking that thought that everyone has. And then once they get so deep into it, they're like, well, I can't go back now. Like everyone thinks that they're like, oh, I could do this. I could screen print. And then it's like, I won't name a name, but I had a customer recently that's someone that we've had for their entire existence for 10 years or something now. And I heard a rumor recently that they are thinking about printing their own stuff. You know what I mean? Like maybe even just the one color stuff. Like a lot of their stuff is 1-2 color, but it's a lot of stuff. I think they're getting that thought in their head of you're having right now of there's nothing wrong from us. I just think they're like, well, we could save money by doing this ourselves. You know what I mean? Oh, let's do this. And I heard that rumor and I'm like, guys, come on. Just talk, talk to me first. Be like, hey, what can we do to change things up or make things a little more cost effective or something? They immediately go to hey, I'm going to buy equipment. And I'm like, dude, fucking A. So I'm just saying, part of me was like, oh, that sucks. But the other part of me was like, they're going to come back. I know these people, there's no way in hell they're going to start a print shop just to make merch for their brewery.
They don't understand, right? That's like saying, oh, you can't get me beer. Well, then I'm going to make my own beer and start a brewery. I don't know anything about that, right?
Thing is, I know what they're thinking. I know they're like, oh, I could buy a 4-color press and I could buy the ink and I could print them. I'm like, yeah, but you have no dark room. You have no screens. You don't know shit about ink. None of the stuff we print for them is basic. It's like, oh, we're using water base on this or we're doing this on this. It's like, they're just assuming oh, I can just get a Cricut and a this and that, you know what I mean? And we'll make it happen. But the truth of it is they're going to save what, $2?
Well, and then they're taking so much time away from their real focus.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, I'm just saying the delusion of most of us, but the problem is that's how we all started. And then obviously we have a print shop now, so it works. But I feel like what it always is I'm too deep now to go back. I would love to go back and say, I'm not going to do this, but we're so deep now that we have to continue. So
at that point, we didn't realize how deep it was going to get for sure.
Right. Yeah.
That really was our mindset. It was like, oh, we'll just do it ourselves. And then you don't know what it takes. And then you finally it's just a day. And then you realize you're a week in, then you're a month in, and you go, okay, now we know how to do it. We should have stopped a long time ago, but we're here now.
Right. I'm $10,000 in, or I'm whatever. I can't go back. So,
well, and I think it was even more the time that it took to just figure it all out. And now you have that knowledge. And it's just I just learned all this. Let's use it now. Let's see what the next step is. And it's the video game thing. It's oh, we beat that first boss. Now let's go to the next boss, right? So we started learning how to screen print, and we really were just doing it for ourselves. Making some mostly just single colors, all we knew how to do. We didn't even know how to, register anything. We didn't know what crosshairs were. We did nothing. We were just burning screens in a bathtub and then putting them on, right? And so once we started making the merch side of it, it's the classic situation. Oh, you have a lawn mowing company? You want to mow my lawn? It's oh, you can make shirts? Then, my old electrical company, all the construction guys, right? They started asking, can you guys make our apparel? And it worked really good for us. While, the surf stuff was a very seasonal thing. And so in the wintertime, we're looking for a little bit of money to just feed us, right? And so that was what it became, and why we kept going deeper is because it was feeding us. I mean, it was a way to get through while season was slow for the surfboards. And it's kind of that part of the transition from we're buying a little silver press to where we are now is almost a blur, right? Because it's just, you say yes to the next guy, and then you say yes to the next guy, and then before you know it, you've hired another guy and you've bought more equipment, and it's just this scaling monster.
Well, that's something I've been trying to bring up recently, and I don't know why it just keeps coming up in every episode, but it's like, people ask for advice or they figure this or that, or they look at you now, but it's like, dude, I didn't do anything. I just literally woke up the next day and did it again.
Yep.
Like, and here I am, like, I started doing this when I was 17 years old. Like, I'm going to be 39. Like, I've been doing this for a long time and there was no plan. I just fucking get up tomorrow and I just keep doing it. Like, and eventually you just end up somewhere and you're like, all right, well, this is what I am. This is my existence. This is who I am as a being.
Yeah. At that same moment, and this may be a good question for you. Maybe you don't have to answer it if you want, but I've always told myself and everyone that works in my company, and kind of back to that, I learned it as the end of electrician life, was if you wake up not excited to go do what you want to do again, and there still isn't drive or a goal or a smile to help that person or work with that client, then that's the time to change, right? And so if that's what still gets me going, and that's why the scaling just keeps happening, and that's why you just wake up every day and you take care of the next person and the next problem and the next fire, and until it gets to the point where it's like, all right, it's not fun anymore, or that's not it. But I think for me, at least, and I'll let you answer that question, it's like, it's not the actual it's not the actual business or the excitement or the people that are helping. It's the game. It's the growing. It's like getting to that next step.
It's called addiction, and I think it's an actual no. In all seriousness, like I feel like I to some degree have that. We call it drive, and we call it this and that and the other thing, but I think it truly is like an addiction. Like I have you mentioned a video game, and I've mentioned that a million times in the show. Like that's how I feel about work. I feel like I'm excited to do sales because when I get a sale, it's like I got coins. You know what I mean? Like I got the next thing, or I get a client that I've never gotten before, which makes me feel like more of a top tier printer, or like I made it to the next thing. Like that's another level for me. And I feel like really what that is it's like a gambling addiction. Like it's just like you're like, oh, well, the next one's going to be the hit or this thing. And then you get that dopamine or whatever. And you're like, oh, cool, I'm going to do the next thing. But yeah, I agree with you. I don't think it's necessarily waking up the next day and being excited to do it. I think it's just, you get to a point too where, yeah, you are excited to do it, but I think you are just like, this has to succeed, and not in a negative. I don't know how I'm describing this, but like, I don't wake up of like, this has to, like, I hate this, but this has to succeed. Like, I'm more just like, this is me at this point. Like I spend, 8 to 10 to 14 hours a day working on this. Like when I leave work at 5 o'clock or whatever time it is, I go home, like I'm still on my phone, like answering DMs, or I see an email, or, I was having this discussion with Christina the other day where she was asking me about this thing I don't necessarily need to get into, but it was like, you just need to want to do it in your free time. Like if you go home and you're like 5 o'clock is my, work-life balance, and I'm not going to think about work till tomorrow. It's like, I can't, that is not me. Like, dude, I will be up at 1, like researching something, or I will be looking into something. I'm like, literally my Sunday to like relax. Part of that for me is like making breakfast and sitting at my laptop on the kitchen table or whatever and writing a blog about screen printing, or like researching a new ink, or I'm watching YouTube videos on like other printers, like doing something. Like my trash TV, instead of like, fucking whatever it is, the next Bachelor thing, is to literally watch like screen printing videos of other shops like doing things and being like, oh man, why did they do it that way? Or, oh, that's really cool, and like write a note. Like that's when it's like your thing. That's something you're excited to get up and do, is when you really want to do it in your free time.
Dude, you have nailed it. That's entrepreneurship at its core, and you specifically so in that industry, right? Like just screen printing your life, right?
Yeah.
That's something that I think is less than a 1%ers in this world, in the sense of like knowing and having that ability somewhere deep inside that people go, how are you still doing this? Like, how do you run 14 companies, Shawn? Like, I go, well, what did you do on Saturday? I watched the entire season of Stranger Things. I go, well, while you were doing that, I was running all 14 of those companies. And it's like, well, how can you just keep going? And where's the end? When does your battery run out? I go, that's what drives my battery. Like if I sat and watched TV for that long or did nothing, I would just like, I'd shrivel up into this little weird little alien thing and go, I need another thing. Like there's something.
Well, to be completely vulnerable though, there is another side to that coin. That's just straight fear. Yeah. Like there are days too where I literally don't have anything to do. Like I don't like, you know, it might be a day where I'm a very routine person or like a planning ahead person. And if, say, Thursday, I was supposed to have my kids and I was supposed to do this thing and the other thing, say that whole plan changes and my day opens up, I'm like, fuck, like I don't have any work to do. I don't have my laptop, or I'm not doing this or that. Like I literally am that guy who will go outside and look up in the sky and be like, I have no purpose right now. Like I have nothing. I don't know what to do with myself. And you know what my go-to is? It's like, oh, I'll go to the shop. Like I will come here, turn the lights on, sit at my desk, turn tunes on, and I will find something to do. Like I will create something to do. Yeah. And it's like, that's also the other side of this is like, is this healthy? Like, is this an addiction? Like, you know, I can't just be like, oh, I'm going to turn my brain off and like go like draw a picture. Like, I'm like, I need to do something that's productive. And that's why I think like realistically, I love like lawn care and like mowing the lawn and all this other stuff is because I can go out and do that and then look at it an hour later and be like, oh, I completed this task. And it is right here. There's proof. Like I did this thing.
Yes. It's a checkbox. It's another video level pass. It's like if I'm the only time I really like check out is we have this really nice cabin up in the mountains and we'll go to the cabin and it's, you know, there's no internet, there's nothing there. But the one thing we do is puzzle. And we do 3,000 piece puzzles because there's that feeling again where it's like we started at one and then, man, it feels so good. Next, you know, it's like you take it a second and the next one, bring out the next box. Like that's our brains. That's our life. Like we can't.
But we also can't just sit there though. Like we can't just look off into the distance and like sit in a chair and like whatever. Like I know people are just like, I just want to go to bed. Like I just want to sleep. And I'm like, no, like it's not going to happen. Anyway, there's a lot of different variations of this. I think that, yeah, you're right. There are certain people and certain aspects that make people successful. But I also feel like those people are also the same people who have addictive personalities of like, they need to chase it because it's part of them as well. So,
yeah. Yep. That's our life. So we don't know different.
So I don't even know where we left off in your story. We went into an addiction train. Like
that was cool. I like that. I like talking. Like, that's the deep stuff that I think some people get uncomfortable talking about. You know, it's
I have no problem getting vulnerable in that scenario because I am a fucking, you know, like I'm a ball of. I've learned in my life, like recently in the last couple of years, like I am a ball of anxiety and I'm a ball of, you know, I push down emotion for 18, 20 years. And then now I'm like, oh yeah, like my business is at this point. And oh yeah, I employ X amount of people who have full on lives. Like we're not kids anymore. Like when I started this business, we were all fucking punk kids that just like had no responsibilities. Like who gave a shit what we did? We blew our entire paycheck on like CDs and fucking Taco Bell. It's like, we can't do that anymore. We have like mortgages and kids and like all these other things. And then you wake up one day and you're like, oh my God, like what I'm doing is impactful on people's lives. Like people are, you know, it starts to change when those people that were your punk friends that work for you are talking about retirement funds. And you're like, oh fuck, like what I do like pays those things. So I need to make sure there is work to do because I can't see you who's been with me for 20 years going out and getting another job if this doesn't work out.
No, that goes back to that fear thing, you know, waking up every day of a fear. And it's hardly ever a fear for me. It's the fear for that. Like I've got families and kids and their kids, like depending upon this crazy thing I came up with when we started a wake surf company to now make shirts. And now we have all these people that depend on it. Like that's the wake up and go, okay, we gotta go. We gotta go. That
usually happens in January and February is when you have that panic attack in the middle of the night. Yeah. So anyway, you started screen printing for the wakeboard thing, made the clothing. At what point did the scales go one way or the other?
Yeah. That tipping point of, okay, less on the wake surf. Now this is going more screen printing. A lot of it had to do with my partnerships on the wake surf side of it. So I I went through the original Nick Scott, who started it with me in my garage. He went his own separate ways, and I took over the company. I had my next partner, who was out of Utah, Colby. He helped us with, we actually patented and created the very first ever LED wake surfboards you could surf at night. And that was that's what took the company to the moon. And so when we took that, then he left after a little bit of that. And then my next partner was actually our distribution guy down in Texas, Steven. And he was kind of our guy that was selling and shipping and doing a lot of the busy work for us. But he always kind of whispered to me, when there's an opportunity, I'd like to be your partner. And so when Colby left, Steven bought his shares to the company. And so when Steven took over, he was able to take my drive and small town kid efforts to take this company as big as I could. I'd really taken it to what I thought was the boss level. And he had knowledge. He had bigger picture stuff. I know how to create public company. He just had this, I show you a cartridge, blew it out and put this one in. I mean, you ain't even put this game in, bud. And
he put the game genie in.
He did. He doubled down. Yeah.
He had the cheat codes from cheatcc.com.
left, right, BAT. I'm
yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
So that's when I was
that kid with really fast thumbs.
Yeah, the Guitar Hero.
He was that guy.
He showed me I got you. You've got it to this point. Let me take it over. So we shifted the whole company down to East Texas where he was. And so I was kind of out of the day-to-day. I was taking over big fires, monthly meetings, doing the fun stuff. Oh, Steve Aoki's calling. He wants to use his surfboard. I'll deliver that one. Yeah, that sounds fun.
Right.
And so when that happened, I got to that, that feeling you had and you're staring in the sky. What do I do with my hands? That was my day-to-day. And I'm looking around in the shop. All the surfboards are gone. I'm screen printing press. Let's keep pushing that a little harder. And so that's when it shifted. It was just it's available. And so at that point, my only employee was my sister-in-law, Erica. And I said, hey, this is it. Let's see what we can do. I'm full. All my effort is going to be on this now. And when we got our first big job, we were still just doing mom and pop shops, just doing little, 20 shirts here, 100 shirts there. We got one of the big universities here in the state, University of Idaho, the Vandals, and they needed 11,000 shirts. We only had a silver press. We had a 4-color, 1 platen, and they wanted 11,000 shirts.
We were just talking about this today. Chris has been with me for forever, and we were talking. This is going to go off as a tangent again, and whatever, it is what it is. But he was talking about how he went to another friend of his and watched the movie The Town, the Ben Affleck movie about Boston. Mm-hmm. And the funny thing is, me and Chris had just watched that movie when it first came out. And we were talking in thick Boston accents for 2 weeks. We were just making shit up. But we got contacted by the Mets, the New York Mets,
wow.
The big ass team or whatever. And they wanted to have a meeting because we were going to do apparel for them. Back then, when we went to have that meeting with the Mets, we were in the same spot as you. We had a silver press and a what's it called now? An M&R Economax dryer, which is a step above a little buddy or something. You know what I mean? That's what we had.
That one's sitting right over here.
And we had another little manual that was just barely used, whatever. That's all we had. And we were going to have meetings with the New York Mets. Literally went into the stadium, went up into their marble floors. It's the kind of meeting when someone comes out and offers you Perrier and they're like, oh, you want a drink? And it's dude, I'm in a fucking American Apparel hoodie and jeans right now. I'm so underdressed. We just drove to New York City, which is 2.5 hours from here, to have this meeting. Go upstairs. We meet with, which was funny because the guy under the head guy, his name was Eddie Murphy. Whoa. So that alone, we were we're going to meet Eddie Murphy. And then, so anyway, Eddie Murphy was busy for some reason, couldn't take the meeting. So we ended up talking to, the guy's name was Bill Hashy-Christos, which is the head guy. And he's the guy in charge of ordering all the apparel and merch for the Mets or whatever. So anyway, we sit down with him and he's like, oh, I know you artsy types because of what we were wearing. He was like, oh, I knew immediately when you guys walked in. So anyway, we come to find out this guy is just a New York guy and he's just super chill and funny. So we're just shooting the shit, joking around with him. And he's like, you guys, he thought we were from the city. He thought we were a 5-minute drive away or something. We're like, nah, dude, we drove 3 hours to get here. And we took the train and we did this and this and this to get here. And he's like, you guys are fucking crazy. This is just a bullshit meeting. We could have done this over Zoom or a phone call. He's right. But you agreed to have a meeting. So we took a meeting. And I was like, yeah, dude, we want to fucking, we're having an adventure. And the whole time me and Chris in the car were oh, Ed's going to take the fucking cards, because we kept talking in a fucking Boston accent because of the town. Wait, you're saying you're getting this 11,000 piece order from the university or whatever. It was the same. Like, what were we thinking? We had a 4-color silver press. We were thinking we were going to print all the shirts that the Mets needed for the stadium. You know what I mean? Like, right now, good buddy of mine, Justin Lawrence, is printing like all these massive amounts of shirts for the stadium in Oklahoma. And he's texting us in the group being like, this is exhausting. Like, this is a lot of stuff. Like, they're crushing it. They're doing amazing. But it's just like, oh, next week we need 21,000. Oh, next week we need 40,000. Like, we need this and this. And they have like, you know, like fucking 7 or 8 autos or something, and they're like struggling to get it done. I'm like, we were fucking 2 dudes in a garage, like a 1-bay garage with a silver press, and we were like, oh yeah, we can do it, like no problem. We were talking about it today because he brought it up, and I was like, they would have sued us. Like, there's no way we could have done those shirts. They would have been the first order. They would have been like, oh, we need 20,000 white T-shirts with the Mets logo on it. I was like, we would have never even come close to printing those. And I didn't know back then either, like outsourcing, like I would have had no friends to send this to. What the fuck are we thinking? Like, so anyway, I just sidetracked your story, but like,
I love that.
What were you guys doing when you were like, oh, we have this order where they want 11,000 pieces? Did you just fucking grind it out, or like, what did you do?
Yeah, I think you'll probably say the same. I have a problem saying no, right? Especially
definitely. Yeah.
It. So it was kind of like, here's the thing, right? And whenever those kind of opportunities happen, everyone else that I tell these stories to is kind of like, dude, why didn't you just say no? It's like, well, those are the opportunities that push you. Like, those are the ones that force you to buy new equipment, force you to hire people.
Yeah.
Like, it's just one of those things. If it was just easy and it was another 20 shirt order, you know, and nothing ever happens with the company. And so I always just said yes to those. And they're moments to force you to figure it out, force you to do things that are uncomfortable. And we just did it. We were in the shop we were in at the time. It was called Trax Customs. It was actually the old Mastercraft boat shop. I helped a buddy of me and him kind of collaborated on getting enough money to lease the space. And he gave me the loft. It was like 900 square feet up above this truck shop where they were like putting new wheels and tires and headlights. And we're up there screen printing up top.
Where it's super hot.
No air conditioning.
Yeah, dude, fuck that. It'll melt your skin off. Yeah.
And it was upstairs. So we packed the boxes for 11,000 shirts up and down on everything. I had to have a buddy with a snowmobile trailer hold all my shirts for me, and we'd come get boxes every morning to try and do it. I had my sister-in-law had like old high school friends just come, and they were just learning how to put shirts on. I had friends' little sons coming, and we were legit sweatshopping it, and got them all done. Somehow they were, if we looked back on these shirts, they were horribly printed. The bases weren't darkened. It just, everything about them was wrong, but they got done. And then after it was all said and done, we got it all done. Oh, this thing called COVID happened. And the shirts were specific for one of the football games. And the shirts never got delivered.
Which was probably like someone looking down on you and being
it was a saving grace for them. They never opened the boxes, I'm sure. So,
well, to finish my story, it's very, very similar. Is like, basically we met with this guy and we fucking hit it off. Like, we were best bros by the time we left that place. And he was like, yeah, I want to do this with you. Like, cause in the meeting, it felt like a mob meeting where it was almost like, in these movies where you write something on a little piece of paper and you like slide it forward. Like, he straight up asked us at his desk. He's like, well, what it would be for, I can't remember the number. It was some stupid number, like 20,000 white shirts with a 2-color logo on it or something. And he was like, what would it cost? And here I am, like, sitting there. Like, nowadays I would be like, well, we'll get all the numbers together and I'll email you or call you later and we'll figure this out. Right then and there, I was like, oh, like acting like I'm doing mental math. You know what I mean? I'm like, well, carry the 2, like this will just be, I literally wrote it down and like slid it to him. And I was like, this is what I could do it for. I think what I did in my head back then was like, I know the blank cost of like this was when it was like Anvil 779 was a thing. Okay, yeah. And I was like, oh, white 779, it's like, I don't know the number, say it's $1 or whatever. I was like, well, we could, I heard once that you shouldn't take anything under like 75 cents or whatever. So I was like, I just added it. I was like, oh, we could do it for like $2 or something. And he was like, I knew he looked at me of like, I respect you, we're buds, but you just gave me a horrible number that I am going to take advantage of you. Like he's like, he instantly said yes, which to me is like, fuck, I should have said more. Money on the table. He's like, I think we can make this work or whatever. And then he like shook my hand and we were like, oh, cool, whatever. And then literally saving grace, like from the heavens. I think it was like 2 weeks later, like the Mets, like were on the verge of bankruptcy or something.
Oh.
And they cut the funding for like extra tees for the season or something. And so he's like, oh, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do anything, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, at the time I was bummed because I was like, oh man, this is millions of dollars we were going to make or whatever. And I was like, now I look at it, I'm like, hell yeah, he said no. Like, there's no way. Like, but the cool thing is that guy was cool. Like, he was also involved in all these other things. Like, he was involved in some like movie studio stuff and some other things and whatever. And it was like, he still to this day sends us work. He's like,
wow,
oh, I got a project. Like, I know these guys, they're cool guys. They're going to whatever. So like, I made that connection. So like you said, like, you never know what's going to come from saying yes to something.
Yes.
So I agree that you should do that, but you should also know like, hey, these are my limitations of like, I can't actually do this. I legit think if we would have tried to do that job, we wouldn't be here today because we would have said yes and then just like buried ourselves and not been able to do it.
Tore you guys apart. Yeah,
right. So
that I love that saying of like you have to say yes to it and you never know where it's going to go or what can come of it. But there is that fine line, like you said, where you have to be somewhat honest and like, we can't do what you're doing, but we'll figure it out, or give us some time, or give us a piece of it, right? There's ways to still do the job, but maybe only at the pace that you're capable of. And me working with a lot of the mentors and huge companies I've worked with before, like they appreciate that. Like that's what they want to hear is the honest, I don't know this way bigger than us, but we'd love the opportunity. Let us grow. We'd love to be the guys that do it all, but right now we can't.
Yeah.
That's always been kind of our mindset. And, even on the reverse side of that, if a grandma comes in the door and she just needs, one shirt for her grandson's birthday party, we say yes to that because, we're not making any money. It's a waste of our time, but we don't know who she is. Like her son, this grandkid may be the owner of Meta. Who knows, right? Like we always kind of use that mindset because you never know who someone is or what they can do or what communication, networking, anything, knowledge, right? Like a great story that just happened. We're right in the process of moving from a smaller space to a bigger space we're in right now. And we needed more desks. We needed some desks. And so we marketplaced it, looked and found a bunch of desks for $200 and went to go pick them up. And of course, where we go to pick up these desks is someone that does websites and Shopify experts with how to take things from Sanmar and transition them in so that they're mockable. And they have this whole software. Like, what? Like, we're just coming for desks. And it's like, screw the desks. Who are you? Nice to meet you. Let's sit down and have a meeting. Like, you got to keep those doors open and, be smart enough to not say yes to everything, but at least keep your eyes and ears open to the opportunity that something might be there.
You just never know what it is. And I have a similar story to that too. When I was in Atlanta, where I think, the few of us in the office, there was this lady who wanted I think it was 6 or 8 shirts or something. And the minimum was, 12 or whatever it was back then. And I wasn't doing anything. I think I was kind of like a slow day for me. And I was like, I'll just take it on. Like, I'll deal with this lady. Like, don't worry. Don't tell her no. I think she called the office 3 times or something. And I was like, you know what? I'll take the order. I did it. Well, come to find out, it was the same lady who's in charge of ordering all of the shirts for the Atlanta Braves.
Wow.
And it was I did this I think there were shirts for a softball team or something. It was something she was involved in. And we did them. And she was like, I'm actually in looking for a new printer for us for the Atlanta Braves stuff. Same kind of scenario as the Mets, where it was just the stuff for the stadium, stuff you throw on the back of, it's free shirt night or some bullshit or whatever it is. And I landed the account, that Atlanta Braves account, for the company that I worked at back then. And that was a big client of ours from then on, because we did 6 shirts, under minimum. Back then, there's no DTF, there's no whatever. It was we're screen printing 6 shirts, but that turned into this every order is a $80,000 order or something, and it's you just never know.
You got to take care of everybody and be honest with people and hey, we'll do your 1 shirt, but it may take a while. We'll try and fit it. Just communicate.
I mean, more often than not, it's not going to be the owner of a fucking baseball team. It's going to be someone who wants 6 shirts. But realistically, don't be a dick. I always say that now of be respectful of that person, and especially the quality of print too. We've had this discussion before on here, but it's I don't want the quality for 6 shirts to be any different than 10,000 shirts. I don't want to be oh, well, fuck it, just throw it on press, or we'll just sloppily do this because it's 6 shirts. It's they should get the same amount of care. Like, yeah, it sucks. It's just 6 shirts, but like, come on, like, don't half-ass this just because it's a few pieces. So anyway, back to your story. You and your sister-in-law are doing this
sister-in-law,
mostly?
just me and her. Yep.
So then what happens next?
I had one other employee that was running Brigade events and Brigade weddings. We had like a whole other company, and Kayla was running that.
You have Brigade mopping, Brigade.
I mean, it's kind of a joke now. Like it's one of those things where I used to have my old truck was all wrapped with Brigade, and now it's like, dude, it's going to look like a NASCAR now. It's just like Brigade everything, and it's like, yeah, there's all kinds of jokes in town. Everyone kind of gives me crap.
Hey, the name's known anyway.
It's known. It's definitely known.
Well, the note I had from Christina was that you had your sister-in-law, and then she had a friend, and then she had another friend, and so on. And now it's you and a bunch of female moms.
Yeah. It's all every employee I have is female, and majority of them are moms. There's a couple that aren't. Including my wife, who just quit her job a month ago at the surgical center. She's a surgical tech, and now she's here full time. I think we're 11 or 12 employees now, including myself. So we're still fairly small. So
it's you and 11 moms. Or 11 women.
Yeah, a lot of estrogen. That's part of why we're in a bigger shop now. Like
more space
between each
I'm not
other.
going down that road on this podcast, but like, yeah, I understand what you're saying. But the funny thing is it made me instantly reminded me of this. I don't know if you've seen it. There's this new movie on Netflix that's like a Vince Vaughn movie. It's called Nona's. It's about.
I saw the box for it, a little preview for it.
Yeah, it's basically about how I'm going to ruin this for people, but like spoiler, but he has a mom and a grandma who like obviously are Italians and like make like, you know, Sunday meals and all this other stuff. And his whole growing up was loving this food or whatever. Well, they pass away, and like he's having a crisis, and he's like, I just don't know what to do with my life. He works like mechanic or something. And he takes the money from his mom's passing to open a restaurant, and he calls it Nona's because what he wants is the cooks to be grandmas. He hires grandmothers, Italian grandmothers, Nona's, to make like the authentic Italian food or whatever. And this is a real place. Like I found out this is a true story. You can go eat there. But like, it just reminded me, like, I just watched this. So I'm like, oh, he's got his own fucking Nona's. Like he's got a shop of, you know, all these women that are just like, yeah, we're good at doing this task. And you're like, yeah, well, I have a productive shop because of these ladies are organized and they're driven and they're whatever.
Yeah. Christina actually asked me before this meeting, what my shop hack was. And my shop hack is hiring all women. It's because they're way more organized. They're way more detail oriented. That once they have a job and something to focus on, they do it until it's done, and it's done perfectly. It was just
that's a lot of pressure.
It's just a way better. They're better communicators. There's just so much better when it comes to specifically being a decorator. They're awesome at it, and a big, it kind of organically happened that way. We've had a couple male employees here. I had Adam that was here helping me with embroidery, and like it just works that way, and it organically happened, like you said, is like her friend brought in her friend, and it's like, oh, I have
right. It was never a plan. It's not like you had a business plan of like, I'm just going to hire like over 30 women to work here.
Yeah, no, and it helps too in a sense. There's a nice give and take. We have a very free flowing shop space in the sense of like, hey, I need to go pick up my kids, or hey, I want to go to my kids get an award, or it's my anniversary, or whatever it is. Like,
yeah.
This is a shop space where they can go and do and please whatever they want. They still need to live life. And that's a nice give and take where they're going to do what they need to do here and jobs will still get done, but they can still have a life. And that was something that I was blessed with when I was an electrician. One of my bosses, he was just like, yeah, you can't be here all the time. You still have a personal life. And as long as you keep showing up every day and doing what you need, you can go do and be a mom and still have a life and go get your nails done and go get a massage. Like if I was the boss to stop you from doing that, what's the point of doing this, right? Like I'm doing this and I have this shop so that you can be proud of what you're doing. You can go home every day excited to show like, look what I made today. Look what I did. I did this for Boise State University, right? Like there's some walking away from this shop going home going, I created something, and there's not a lot of things in life where you can go home and be like, I built something, I made something, I saw this person show up and get their product, see people's lives, dreams, businesses. It's a tangible thing. And there's nothing better than that. Like those feelings that these customers and all my employees get when there's like this, you had this idea and worked really hard and you put all your money into it. And now we created this for you. And now it's a tangible thing and it's all coming together. There's like this really cool moment of what happens here when all that comes together. And it helps. That's a big part of what helps the grind, right? Of what really takes to make this stuff.
The funny thing is like with doing this podcast, if you're a listener of the show that's listened through the last 5 years, basically you are one episode away from my 5-year anniversary of doing the show.
Awesome.
But there's been evolution in my shop over these last 5 years. Again, like I had this kind of come to whatever thing a couple of years ago, but there's things I've tried to do with my management and with my employees and like giving leeway and being like, okay, well, I'm going to have managers do this and whatever. Well, one of the things that I kind of left in place is almost like it's not like said to be that, but almost like an unlimited PTO situation of like, I'm going to let you come and go as you please. And I'm going to let you do your own thing as long as you guys get the job done. So for like any employee here, they kind of know like, oh, I have to go get my kid, or I have a baseball game to go to, or I have just like you just said, like I have all these things I need to do. I don't care. Like, I'm not going to be like, you have to be here. You have to be here till 5, whatever. I don't care if you do those things as long as you get your shit done that you need to handle and is done. I don't care how it happens. Like, I don't care if you come back at 8 p.m. to fucking do something because you want to get it done. Like, I don't care. And I think that's something that I'm learning is giving, this is going to sound shitty in a way, but like giving them the respect that they can handle their own shit to a degree makes them way more like, I'm never leaving, or I'm excited to be here because they have that freedom to know, oh, if my kid's throwing up at school, I don't have to freak out and be like, well, I can't leave work. Like you have to figure it out, or you have to tough out school till 2:30 or 3 until dad can get you because I can't leave work. Like, I don't want that. And I saw a thing online the other day that was, Dana White, the head of the UFC, was talking about how he runs the UFC and how his management and everything is. He said the exact same thing. He's like, no, he's like, I think we are one of the strongest organizations in the world because, no pun intended, in the UFC, but like that's how he runs it. Of like, it's me and I don't know how many people, but say it's 20, head people. He's like, I just don't bug them. I don't, they gotta, you gotta go to this game, or you gotta do this, week away vacation, or whatever you have to do to center your head or be less stressed. Like, fucking do it.
Yeah.
But we're going to get whatever we're going to get done. And you need to respect that as well. But also, like, I'm not going to be on you about what time you get here in the morning or what time you leave or this and this, as long as we are moving forward and shit's on the ball. So
yeah, nailed it. I mean, that is exactly what happens here. We're the same vibe. I mean, if there's this, whenever I hire anybody or sit down for an interview before we bring them on, I go, family first. Like, nothing else matters in this shop. Nothing happens here is going to change or affect anyone's life. It's shirts and hats. I go, your life means way more. Your kids and family mean way more to me than if those shirts and hats get done 1 hour earlier than if you have to go do something. And it's that simple. I mean, it's just a simple, I think the only reason I have that mindset in my life is that, I've had moments in my life where your life gets taken away. You get into a nasty car wreck, or you're in a hospital for a year, or whatever it is. You realize that all those things are so little. And if you just give them that understanding that I get it, I've been you, I've been an employee, I've been a I've done all the things you've done. I'm going to give you the respect as long as I get it back. And if you have to come in at midnight to finish what you had to do because you had a personal thing, that was your decision. You're an adult. You're able to do whatever you want. And if that gets taken advantage of, if that doesn't get done correctly, and my jobs don't get done right, and I have upset customers come in, I look at you and go, okay, see ya. Like, it's just that simple. It's a very, very, it takes something that can be super complex and, employees and all the handbooks and you got to blah, 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 blah. It's just a human thing for us. It's just take care of people and treat people the way they should be treated. And then good things happen. And then they have an ownership of this place. It's not just mine and my wife's. This is their shop too. They have this pride, and this customer is their customer, not my customer. right? It's a whole
I
thing.
think the other dynamic with that too is one thing I've learned is I want to make sure all of my ducks are in a row before, not necessarily before you're hired, but like I have an agreement in place. I have expectations in place. I have, everything is written down of what is expected of you. Yeah, we can have this free floating fucking kumbaya shop of like, you can do whatever you need to do, but as long as the work's done. But what I did for like 12 years was, oh yeah, it's like a handshake deal, or like you're hired on the spot, but you can kind of like, we're going to teach you this and whatever. But there was no rules. It was just kind of like expectations. Well, what I learned the hard way was like my common sense isn't necessarily your common sense. And you're going to twist this or take advantage of me here, take advantage of this, or you're going to whatever. And what I found is like, okay, we're adults. I'm going to treat you like an adult. I'm going to let you do whatever you want to do. But in the background is this like written agreement of like when you were hired of these are your expectations. Like, this is what you're supposed to get done. This is what happens if you don't get this done. Like, if you no call, no show, or don't let a manager know that you had to go pick up your kid and you're just fucking gone, like, that's a strike, or that's hey, we're taking note of this. And it gets to the point too, like you said, like there's people you could believe that all your employees are going to do right and they're going to do what's best for everybody. But there are people who take advantage of shit, and there's people who go a little too far off the rails. And it's kind of like, as an owner, I feel protected of like, dude, you fucking fired yourself. Like, like literally, this is what I'm expecting of you. And you are doing your own thing, but you're not even respecting what you're supposed to be doing. Like, we still need to get jobs done. This is still a business. Like, we still have expectations, but like, I'm treating you like a respectful adult. And like, if you're not meeting these needs, then we have to let you go.
Yeah,
so,
I could take a lot of advice from you there. I think that's something where I could probably be better on, in the sense of like, here is, in writing.
I got like kicked in the nuts. Like, I'm not saying like, oh, I fucking figured this out. Like, I just got beaten down to where I was like, I have to do this. Like, it gets to the point where it's like, we basically kind of cleaned house at one point, like a little while ago, of like, okay, shit is too fucking Wild West. Like for years and years, again, like your punk kids starting a screen printing shop. It's like, we're fucking riding mini bikes around the shop, or we're doing this. And it's like, at some point you have to be like, okay, there have to be some rules. So again, like I got to where I was like, all right, well, I have to write a hiring handbook. And the hiring, because again, I don't want to throw anybody on the bus, but like you hire somebody and it's like, okay, every day they show up in fucking pajama pants. And it's like, why do I have to have a written thing that says no pajama pants at work? You know what I mean? Like, there's stupid shit like that where it's like,
yeah,
why? Because that's where I say, like, my common sense is to not wear pajama pants and, like literally what you wore to bed, wear to work. And it's like, I have to now write in a handbook, like, do not do this, because I just had to let somebody go who we had to let go because of this, or just stupid shit like, don't smoke a blunt while you're printing shirts. Like, just now I have to write this. It's just like, so like, if you look at our handbook, it's like the fucking one page is just a bunch of random shit. You're like, why are these in here? It's like, well, they're in here because I had to learn a hard lesson that don't do this. Like, I'm just expecting to at some point to write like, do not have a turtle in your pocket. Like, do not like fucking whatever. And it's like, it's insane what we have to do as a business owner.
I'm kind of laughing out loud because I'm like envisioning a lot of those things that have happened in my shop. And
right. But again, like,
have a handbook of all that.
If I just sat down and I had, now there's ChatGPT, which is like a huge savior when it comes to that stuff. This is like, it's like, hey, you could literally write in ChatGPT, like, I am a screen print shop owner in 2025. I've done this with my life. I'm in shambles. Create me a handbook. This is the society that I live in. This is what my shop is like. And it will write you out 90% of it. Like, and then go through on a Sunday when you're bored or whatever and like rewrite it and be like, okay, well, I got to add this specifically for this, or I got to do this or whatever. And then present it to your managers. Be like, hey, I wrote a handbook. What do you guys think? Change a couple things and you're done. Like, that's it. Like, you could write this thing now and be like, hey, all you women, like, maybe don't, have wine Tuesday or something. You know what I mean? Like, this is a rule now.
A couple of the stories that were going through my head quickly that you were saying, like the Wild Wild West, like legit. One of the new things here in the shop is Nerf gun wars. Like,
we have that too. Yeah.
When it just gets like, we need to loosen up, and there's 10,000 Nerf guns. So like that's part of it now. And then one of the things that I did, we had where we are here in Boise, we're at like the old.
See, like your rule with the Nerf gun, like the Nerf gun's cool. So that's what I'm saying. Like the Nerf gun makes sense. But this is where the common sense thing comes is you're going to get the one person who puts the thumbtack in the end of the Nerf dart.
Yeah, that's what
and then you got to write a policy that says no Nerf guns with thumbtacks.
But you know what's sad is some of those rules are probably going to be me. Like that's where my mind was going. I was like, okay, I can buy one of those ones with the big backpack things, and I've got 1,000, and I'm just Arnold Schwarzenegger in here, and I'm like,
well, I literally have we've upgraded to the rival ones, the ones with the ball, not the dart, because they go so much harder and faster. Yeah. But like you can buy upgrade kits for those to make them hurt. Yeah, and I'm like, that's where we got to the point where it was like, we're fucking upgrading shit to like, Brian's got a fucking blow dart gun in his office that he made out of like metal, and that shit hurts. Like with a Nerf dart in it, the thing's like this long, and it's like, poof, and like it'll hit you in the skin. It fucking hurts, and it's like,
you got to put the rule book down, or else.
Yeah, at some point, you gotta whatever. So yeah. Anyway, the main reason why you caught my attention was this. I don't even know. You can tell me how it started, but it was this whole thing with a school teacher.
Oh yeah. Yes. The everyone is welcome here shirts. I'm horrible at dates, but this happened.
Just make it up. Nobody's going to check you.
What was the date when I'm welcome? The 9th of March, 11th of March is when I was
at 4:36 p.m.
Yeah, 4:36
Eastern Standard Time. The moon was in crescent. We were doing normal work. We were actually prepping for myself, my wife, and my sister-in-law. We're all going to Florida for the Reggae Rise Up. We always go every year. It's a big reggae concert, and so we were kind of prepping. You seem like a big reggae guy.
Big dude, big time. I'm a surfer, bro. What's up, bro?
Yeah, that's true. All right.
And we were kind of just prepping everybody for, hey, we're going to get to leave. You're going to take over this or this. We're just kind of sitting down at the lunch table, and I get a phone call from Chris. He's an old, he called him Lucky the DJ. And he calls me up and he's like, hey man, I've got this, have you seen the news? And he sends me this quick link. He's like, there's this teacher, she's got a poster. And I'm like, I'm already on vacation mode. I'm like, okay, whatever, I'll take a look at it. And our local KTR, local Channel 7, like NBC News, they did a story on this teacher, Sarah Anama, and she's in the West Ada School District. She had a sign in her classroom that said, everyone is welcome here, and then had all these hands that were in different skin tones. And a very, normal poster to say like, hey, no matter who you are, we're going to teach you that you're welcome here. Like, is a very
right. Like, I would never think anything of that. Like, if I saw that, I don't even think it would register. Like, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's all.
Yeah. And so he said that watch this news, and the news basically said that the district, her boss, was telling her that she needed to take that poster down in her classroom. And so just being, that's her boss telling her what to do. She took it down, went home that night, slept on it, talked with her husband, came back the next day and said, no, this is ridiculous. Put the sign back up in her school. And that's when all chaos ensued. Like, Chris.
Well, I don't want to get super into this because I'm not that person, but like, why? Like, what was their argument?
Their argument on their side, and I don't want to put words in someone else's mouth, but
again, I'm just curious. Like, why would they want it taken down?
Because of the skin tones and a political stance on what you believe is kind of what they're saying, in the sense of, depending on your skin tone, maybe not everyone should be welcome. There's a lot of DEI stuff in there. There's a lot of like, it's almost even hard to explain what their mindset was. And that was kind of me. Like, I asked that same question. Why? I don't understand why there's anything wrong with that, which is why I think it took such a viral, massive change, is because anybody with a brain can go, huh?
Well, quick question. Is that person fucking still there? Like, is that person who said take it down, are they still employed?
They're a voted upon. Yeah, they're in the district and voted upon by the people. So
I feel like that would have been a torch and pitchfork situation.
It's a huge, like, it's obviously big talks here in town. And so as far as us, we really didn't have any stance on it. It was just kind of like, hey, let's help this teacher out. Let's support this teacher. And I said, yeah, absolutely. Let's just do a bunch of free shirts for the teachers class. Anybody in that school that wants a shirt, we'll hook them up. We're just going to make them for them. let's do what the poster says. Let's do everyone is welcome here with the hands, and let's do it. And so we're getting ready to go on vacation. So I just, you know what, to make it easy, I don't want to have them going around getting sizes and, what everybody wants. I'm just going to put them on my Brigade screen printing site, go on our website, put a couple sample mock-ups up there. It's on my Shopify store, and then let them go on there and just get all their sizes. And then we come back from vacation, we'll get them all printed and go deliver them and just thank her for being
technical. Because this is a screen printing podcast, let me ask you real quick. What was your first thought when you saw that? Was that we're screen printing this, or is that a DTF situation? Because you said if there's a bunch of hands in different skin colors, I'm like, okay, that's a 12 color or something.
Yeah, it was. We're gonna DTF this thing for sure.
Okay, all right.
And initially, it was like I kind of just blank number said, yeah, we'll do like 100 free shirts for him. I'm a local guy. I love TI.
Right. I probably have the stock in the back. Like,
yeah, exactly. I already have the DTF printer warmed up, ready to go. And so little did I know, by putting it on the website, just to make it an easy, hey, I don't want to pick out sizes. We go to Florida. I land in Florida, and my phone is hot. Like the notifications from Shopify alone were like shutting my phone down. I'm like, what is going on? I get text messages from Brittany, who's kind of running the shop for me while we're on vacation. She's like, something's going on. And from that point on, it was a whirlwind. We had every new, and I'm stuck in Florida for 3 days. We're at this, I'm trying to enjoy myself, check out of work. And while I'm watching Bob Marley's Kid on stage, my phone's going, thousands and thousands and thousands of calls, texts, voicemails, email, all of it, because it's my mom and pop little screen printing shop. It's my personal cell. It's my email for orders, right? Yeah. And like, it was super viral just in Idaho for the time we were down there in Florida. And then by the time I got, and in that time, right, like every day before the concert and every day after the concert, I'm on the phone, I'm calling, we were big with Sanmar. I'm calling Sanmar saying, hey, how many more shirts can we get up from Reno? How many more, I'm talking to everybody, getting ink. I'm trying to get all this kind of stuff, DTF.
In that first week or whatever, like what is the rough number like that you were just running into before it took off?
To be honest with you, I don't actually know. Like, the numbers were happening so fast that even Shopify was like, we can't keep up with the amount of people on your site. We weren't set up for it. And so we're still printing the shirts. It's still an ongoing thing. And so I haven't had the time to like go through and really get harsh.
And that was how long ago?
March 11th is when this all started. So we're 2 months in.
A little over 2 months.
Yeah, and it's still going. And it was all kind of localized within Boise because our local news was there.
Right.
When we got back from Florida, that's when every news channel comes in with cameras and they're ready to interview and all this stuff and see the process and the teacher. And in the beginning, the thing was, we're like, well, it's going to be localized, so we don't want to have people ship. So it's like, hey, Chris is like, oh, we'll just do a pickup, so people don't have to pay for shipping. We couldn't stop the Shopify store fast enough. By the time I knew, in that point, we had almost like 2,500 orders that were just a pickup. And so we had to like open up an entire building out here at this place we were at for people to just come pick up and organize all that. It was a logistical nightmare because everything was happening so fast, and the amount of orders that were coming through.
2,500 random people showing up at your shop to pick up orders sounds like a nightmare.
It was a total nightmare. And we are at that point a 5-man crew, a 6-man crew, including me. And
I mean, it's great advertising.
I mean, the advertising, my fat head was on every news broadcast from CNN to MSNBC to Good Morning America, the BBC. I don't even know what the one in Australia is called, but I was in Australia. Like, my face was on every news channel. I'm sure I haven't even gotten through all the emails and the voicemails still 2 months later. I'm sure Joe Rogan's people are on there watching to get interviews. Like, It was crazy. And my mindset was just really focused in on doing what's right for this teacher, right? And just making it focus on not a political thing, but making sure that this is a message that this teacher wanted to get out, and that we're going to put it on as many chests as we can. The saying was like, you take one sign down, we put 10,000.
Yeah, it's a very punk rock approach to being like, basically stick it to the man, like, fuck you. Yeah. Like, you don't want this one poster in your classroom. We're going to make thousands of shirts that are all over the place. So if anything, you just fucked yourself so hard by saying no. We're going to make it everywhere is basically what you did.
Yeah. I really didn't even really want to say yes to it in the beginning, but I've got all these moms that work for me, and most of the moms' kids were in this.
You were like, if I don't do this, these moms are going to kill me.
Well, I just made sure that they agreed. Like, I wanted to make sure they agreed on the decision we were going to make, because I knew where that could go, right? It could be very politically driven.
Yeah,
and so I didn't want us to pick a side. And I said, when we do this, our vision and our method and our movement that we're going to try and do with this and help her was, this is supporting a teacher and doing what's right for kids, so that any kid can feel like they can become whoever they want. Like, sure, you guys can talk, I'm blue, I'm red, you can do that all you want, but us as a screen printing shop, we're supporting this local teacher. And what was cool, like there's two things that I really come out of this whole chaos of what happened, was that I knew I had a rock star team, and now I know I have the Avengers, and nothing can stop us. Like, we went 24 hours a day for a month long. No one bitched, no one moaned. Everyone showed up.
The other side of that is that now you have an excuse for every order ever. Like, someone could come in, you could get an order from anybody and be like, hey, we got to do these 2,500 shirts for this whatever event or something. And as soon as they go, oh, like, we're going to have to get that done. You're like, dude, we did this for this. Like, we're capable. Like, you can't complain to me now. Like, I know it's doable. I've seen you do it.
Yeah. Yep. I am. I'm so proud of my team. Like, I came away and we had a bunch of like Monday meeting emotional, like, thank you guys, keep going. Like, this is cool. And really what kept us going and driving was these moments that would happen. You know, someone coming in, a retired teacher in full tears, full-grown 70-year-old man come over and just man-hug me, crying my shoulder, going, this is the America I believe in. This is the dream that I know is right. And it's cool to see this little shop support. Like, just moments like that. Every voicemail I got, it's like, I will support you guys. And then, you know, someone in Chicago that knew nothing about Brigade screen printing goes, I'm going to have you do our business's shirts now because of what you're doing and what you're believing in.
That's sweet.
You know, we were doing it all at cost. We were doing it. I mean, my business was at risk the whole entire time.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you is, like, obviously there's a business side to this, and it's kind of like, what did you, because in the beginning, I guess the intention was like, I'm going to give, 100 shirts to whatever. But like, once they started selling, are you like, oh shit, like, I didn't charge enough to like equate for us doing this amount of labor? It obviously turned into something. So like, how are you making out on that? Like, are you kind of like, well, A, are you making money? And B, even if you're not making money, you're making out because of the publicity and the marketing and the whatever. Like, you couldn't have made $0, but now you got Brigade screen printing further than it ever would have gone without it. So
the press,
I mean, you don't have to give me information if you don't want to, but it would be cool to know that you made out pretty well. Yeah,
sure. I'll give it to you as straight as I can. I mean, the early beginnings of it all, when orders were coming in crazy and I hadn't really set a price on the shirts, I didn't know where it was going to go. There were so many unknowns, and it would change hourly as far as what was happening and where we were going with it all, that I didn't know financially if it was going to make any money. I knew that there would be good things that came from it in the end, but I think my biggest concern was I didn't know if we'd make it to the end of this, in the sense of, do we have the manpower to keep going as long as we need to? How long will this last? Is this a viral sensation for a day, or is it still to this point 2 months still going?
The thing is, you're saying you're going into it 2 months, and it's like, if you have that much demand for this stuff to do, when do you have time to do your regular work?
That's what was the scary part. That was the question I would ask myself every night is, do we stop this so we can get back to regular work? Because we were 3 weeks out before this hit, right? Like, we had regular client, our business was running as normal. And then we just stop everything, shut every machine down, buy every heat press in town, and have 100 volunteers just heat pressing hands-on shirts. And I'm, swiping my credit card, trying to send as many things as I can to keep it going, just so that, and the purpose and reason behind that was just so that the movement and the voice could keep going.
Right.
What really started to question was, like, when do we stop so we keep taking care of the people that have fed us, for as long as we
Right. Like, you don't want to screw over your good clients. Like, you might have somebody who's a, plumbing guy and he needs shirts, and not to be insensitive, but he might not give a shit. He's just like, I need shirts for my thing. And it's like, well, Brigade can't do it because they're 8 weeks out now. And it's like, that's kind of unfair to that guy. You know what I mean? Like, he's just he might go somewhere else for the rest of his existence because you couldn't
and
get it done.
That was kind of my hope. That was my hope that our customers would be patient and understand the situation that is like kind of a once in a lifetime situation as far as the virality of it all. But every day it was a question of like, when do we just say no more? And when is this okay? We've sifted through the sand, that we can see the numbers now. Are we making at least enough to keep it going so that it is profitable enough to maybe take part of this new crew that we've hired and acquired through volunteers to force that and put the OG crew back on normal stuff? And I never knew the right answer. And so I kind of just organically let it happen. And just as a upset original customer come in, go, yeah, see it. Yeah, it was kind of good for them to like see the chaos behind me of 100 volunteers trying to help us out, and then going, okay, we got you. I see how important this is, and understand like their business is putting food on their family's table too. We need to make their shirts so they can sell their shirts, right? And so we slowly started to shift and evolve and started picking more volunteers and hiring them so that we could just kind of scale really, really fast to keep the movement going, and then get more tight with it, get more systems in place, be more cost efficient on what we were doing with the Everyone is Welcome Here shirts, so that if it was going to make money, it could be making money. To this point now, we've assessed and we've been able to kind of slow down enough as far as the orders are coming in to go, yeah, we're making a little bit of money on it now, which is good, because we did lose a lot of customers. We did lose people that didn't believe in what we were kind of supporting, in their mind, a political stance. We lost a couple of our wholesale accounts that were like, well, if you can't take care of us while you're doing that, we'll move somewhere else, which in the sense of it all sucks. That's money we're losing for this year. But like you were saying earlier, it cleaned house a little bit. It kind of opened us and stood back into like, we're doing a good thing. We're trying to help someone and be
like, do we even want you as a client anyway, if you're going to be that way?
Exactly. It was almost like, well, you answered that for me. That was kind of nice. We did it because it was work, but we really didn't really appreciate how you treated us anyway. So thank you. It was kind of a nice.
You were kind of a dick anyway, so it's okay if you're gone. Yeah, that's fine. I did want to ask you though, like, it's tricky to say you have, I don't remember how many you said you had. Say you had 6 people or whatever it was before all this happened. How do you just continue to pay 6 people and then you have 15 people volunteering and then they're working side by side and you feel okay paying the one person but not paying the other person? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, that was hard. It was they were volunteers that showed up on their own behalf, right? They were there to support the cause and to fold a shirt. It wasn't a pay thing. It was I'm proud of this teacher, and I'm proud of this city and this state, and we're going to do whatever we need to do what's right to help this small little shop get these shirts out as fast as possible. As far as the paying them and taking care of them, I did everything I could to make sure I bought a food truck that showed up all day and everybody got fed, everybody got drinks, everyone, took care of them as best as we could. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of, they showed up on their behalf and we appreciate
they're volunteering.
Yeah, they're volunteering their time. And, obviously we were very appreciative of that and did everything we could, but they needed to leave. They left on their own. They didn't have to go. They were there to help.
I can't boss you around. You came here on your own.
Yeah. And if they wanted to, and it's, some of them, were there to be on the news, and some of them were there because, they were old teachers or, they were retired. It was a lot of retired people that were there helping. And a lot of the support for this movement are kind of the baby boomer world, where it's like, I wish America was what I was when I grew up, and this belief in this stance and what, they're kind of hoorah, and it was their opportunity to kind of say something again. And so it was cool to feel that and hear that from that group and that age of people. But it was it was an eye-opening thing for me to go through it all.
You always know it's good when you have a sigh in the middle of a sentence. I'm
glad the chaos of it is over, because it was. I mean, our little shop wasn't even set up to run all the heat presses we have. Like, I had our local equipment rent set, Tate's Rents, who's one of our clients we do apparel for, go, hey, I need a one of those huge generators that like runs an event to be pulled in the back of my shop so we can run spider boxes and more power to run more heat presses. Like, it was one of those moments where you feel like you're almost in a life crisis, or the city is about to be hit by a tornado, and you're just like fast thinking, okay, you there, who did this? Okay, we're out of that. Okay, you're going to the store. Like, it was just like trying to keep things moving as fast as possible. And it wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for the support of the town I live in, which is like back to the small town where we started this conversation. Like, I'm so proud that in my mind, I always thought if I got in trouble, I'm never the guy to ask for help, right? I can do it on myself. We got it. I needed help in that moment. And I always wondered if that time came, would those people show up? And, I was in tears every day when there was a line of 20 people with heat presses in their hands and, I'm ready to go. This is awesome. I'm here to support you. It felt so good to be in a town that felt like, oh, if something happened, will they show up? And they did. And I'm going to make sure that I pay that back however I can to every one of those people, every one of those businesses. I kind of got to shout out Sanmar. Rob at Sanmar went out of his way. He has a personal relationship to this whole situation. And he called me out of his own way and said, hey, I've never seen anything like this. What's going on? And I gave him a quick rundown. He's like, well, let's start with this. I want to put an order in for my family. And then what can we do to help? I'm like, well, we've completely taken every white, gray DT6000 out of your Reno, Arizona, Seattle, and Texas distribution facility. How can we get more faster? And
well, that was going to be my question: is what blank did you use for all of this?
Yeah, we were using the
district
DT6000s. Yep. Yeah, and we were kind of trying to keep it as simple as possible in the sense of a white shirt, a gray shirt, especially with the colors of the hands and everything, and just keep it very simple. And Rob specifically went out of his way at Sanmar, and he gave us a little cut, a little help on the price of the shirt, which then made me go, okay, at least we're making that that little bit of margin off the shirt.
Right.
And then made sure that they had trucks running as fast as he could. He was taking trucks from New Jersey all the way to Reno for me, so that Reno had shirts to bring it up to us. Like, there was so little space in our shop that we had, I think, probably 10 pallets of shirts in front of my shop on the sidewalk. I had multiple security cameras just making sure that when people drive by, they weren't loading up blank shirts. Like, I mean, to the scale of UPS National called me and was like, hey, this small little UPS shop that's been taking these boxes and scanning these for us, like, can we help? Like, what can we do to make sure that there's more trucks? And like, every little aspect of what you think is simple in our business was taken to 100 times X, and you're never ready for it. It's like polybags to polybag these shirts. Like, oh yeah, we ship a few shirts from some Shopify stores we run for different companies. And it's like, no. We had 2,000 orders today. Like, can Amazon rush order more polybags hourly? Can they drone them in for us? Like, it was just this unprepared by every aspect of
well, all that being said, what did you learn in that experience that you can use for the shop for not just this project, obviously, but what would you have done differently now that you're looking back on it a little bit? Like, do you feel, okay, it would have been better if I had some kind of management software? Okay, I've learned that I can order polybags from this company, or I can have a folder bagger, or hey, actually, I learned that this heat press actually works the best. Fucking this, what have you learned in all of this of oh, I'm going to use this for forever now?
That's a great question. I haven't even really had time to think about it, but off the cuff, it's not any individual thing. It's not a piece of equipment. It's not a software. I learned that asking for help is okay. And that you can't do everything yourself, and that you're never going to be anything bigger than what you let yourself free up to let happen. I learned that I could be the face for that whole thing in the sense of the guy that owns the shop that's helping the teacher.
Right.
But I never pressed a single one of the shirts. I never, I didn't fold a single shirt. I was just finger pointing and telling all these people. So what I really learned is that you're never going to be anything bigger than yourself if you don't let other people do things for you. And that's always been my problem in business. I'm a hard-headed, small town kid that's ready to work my butt off and work 24 hours a day if I have to. And I've learned that if someone else can do it for you, even if it's at 50% of what you could have, that's 50% more than you could have done on your own. And
you learned that you can delegate where you
I learned that I really suck at delegating until that point. And then right. I'm not even good at delegating. I needed to hand someone else to then delegate those things for me. I'm not good at any of the things individually here. I'm a big picture thinker. I know how to communicate and treat people fairly. But when it really came down to the logistics of how many more people do we need? How many more things do we need? That's not my skill. And I learned that there's other people in the shop that can do those things better for me. And I have already seen in this 2-month span how much better this shop runs because of letting things off my shoulders that I just did because I owned it and I started it, and I just, it's been from the beginning. And even if I didn't even know how to hand that over, I'm going to let that person figure it out and let them do it better than me. That's been the biggest thing I've learned. And obviously that takes a lot off your own shoulders, and you can kind of breathe and do what you do really well. I always knew it was there, and I always knew that's what I needed to do, but this was big enough to force and physically make that happen, and then see it happen and go, oh, that does work. It's not just an idea. That does help.
I know you're still working on it, but you think it's kind of like fizzling out now? Like it's starting to be like, okay, we're going to catch our breath and like we're kind of getting back to normal?
I mean, as far as the sales and the orders coming for that, it's never going to go away. I will say that. It's a movement that has affected tens of thousands of people all over the world. And I think that word is now just going to be a smaller organic growth instead of this. I've seen it on the news. I watched the video.
You made a business called Brigade. Everyone is welcome.
And what's weird about it's weird to even
the
say,
Everyone is Welcome Brigade.
When you say that out loud, it's the first time I've actually heard someone say that Brigade, everyone is welcome, because that is a big part of why I started all of my companies. I want everyone to feel like they can be a part of something. And, all these moms can feel like they're a part of something, and all these team riders on wake surfs can be a part of something, and a wedding company that everyone can be a part of something. Like when all that came together and you saying that out loud, it was almost a moment right here live on camera. Like, yeah, that's what I do good is I can put a lot of people together and everyone can feel welcome and do what they do really well. It's weird to hear you say that. That's a lot of what I've done.
I told you, as soon as this is over, just make everyoneiswelcomebrigade.com.
I'm sure
and that's where the store is going to live.
URL. Yeah, we're already going.
Yeah, you're literally going in right now and getting it.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I think this definitely slowed down to the point where we're doing regular work again. But I mean, I've got 2 full-time employees that's still all they do. They're just making it and shipping it out.
That's awesome.
And I think it's going to grow in its own way. Like there's a lot of different directions and ways people can see everyone is welcome here. And it's less about the teacher and the poster and more about like, maybe
it's the overall idea at this point.
Yeah. Like one of the things we talked about in our morning meeting was that we have an employee that her daughter has Down syndrome, and she feels like sometimes she's not welcome in her classroom because of her disability with Down syndrome. And so like, there's a division, like I can just see it as my business mind also, in the sense of like, I can see where these feelings and emotions can be drawn out into a bigger thing than just Sarah.
Maybe it evolves into an icon logo rather than like a bunch of hands, because it can spread off into all these other things, like you said, like disabilities or anything else in the same vein.
That makes you feel like you're not a part of something. I'm excited to see where it goes. It's been really heart fulfilling, and it gives you a bigger purpose. Like as a shirt company, sometimes our shirts are just like, oh, you wear it once at a basketball game, you got it free, and it gets thrown to the youth ranch down the road. I feel like there was a meaning behind this shirt that's bigger than anything we've ever put on a shirt. And it wasn't what it really was. It's what it means and what it can mean to anybody in any situation. And that felt really good. And it felt good to have people, I literally would go to our local Albertsons after each day to go grab some White Claws and beers for the crew to get through the rest of the night. And I would walk down the beer aisle forgetting I'm wearing one of the shirts or hoodies, and people would just come up and hug me going, keep going. Like this is doing something. And I was so in my bubble of just make sure it goes, make sure our HR department is taking care of people, because it got so big that, there was scams and millions of people out there making fake Everyone is Welcome Here shirts because it had gotten so viral that everyone wanted to make sure they were buying it from the original shop in Boise, Idaho. That I knew that if we weren't taking care of people and communicating with baby boomers who maybe aren't as technologically inclined and like don't know how to order online and wanted to order over the phone, like that they were talking to the right person. I think we were dealing with hundreds of people daily that just saw on their credit card statement, they had just bought a shirt online, but then they saw on their credit card statement, it said Brigade Events, which is the mothership of the company, and it shows up on the credit. I didn't buy anything from an event company. It says that it's your number. What did I buy? Well, this is the Everyone is Welcome Here shirt. Oh, okay, I'm good. And like that became then a whole nother problem where it was like, well, I can't take all these refunds. I'm barely making $1 on these shirts, right? Like if I lose all of those and I've made all these shirts and paid all these employees, like it put me under. And so like HR became the most important part. Make sure you call every person and let them know that it's us. Change that from Brigade Events to Everyone as well. Like every little piece of it was at 100x.
Yeah. Well, that's why kind of what I meant by like, what do you learn moving forward? And, some of the notes that like Christina had too is like, I wanted to ask you is we can get into this gradually, but it was that you have kind of like an all-inclusive pricing, and also you don't do any promo. So I kind of wanted to dive into like I said, you didn't really have any technical like this is what I'm doing because you're still in the middle of it, but like moving forward into your other clients, like can you describe to me a little bit of your thought process with the all-inclusive pricing model? I know some people that do that, like it's not like a new thing, but like why do you go that way versus more of like a broken down kind of thing?
It comes on a me being a customer before I even own this shop, and just the feeling of when I go into a shop, most people just want to know what's my shirt going to cost, what's my hat going to cost. I don't need to know all the little fine line fees and things that then you're going to charge. I kind of compared it to when you go to buy a ticket for Post Malone or any kind of concert ticket, and you're like, ooh, I found tickets on StubHub for $185,
Dude.
and then you're going to check out, and it's like fee, state tax, Post Malone's tattoo cleanup fee. Like it's just all these different fees, and you're like, oh, and you just feel gross about it, right? Like there's just
I know exactly what you're saying. There was a period of time when like the Taylor Swift thing was like popular, and I have a teen daughter, and it was like Taylor Swift, and then it was Olivia Rodrigo, and it was all these other things. And I would go on StubHub or on these other ones and look at tickets, and I'm like, I'm already sweating of like, okay, I'm going to spend like $3,000 a ticket for this thing. And you're like, you mentally talk yourself into it of like, this is my baby girl. Like, this is a once in a lifetime thing. Like, I'm going to do this. And then you get the tickets in the cart and you go to look at it. And it's like, say it was a total of like $5,000 for tickets, like in your mind of like, this is what it says it is. And then at checkout, it's like $8,000. And you're like, where did this other $3,000 come from? Yeah. And it's like service fee. And then, parking is like this. And it's like, dude, this is a whole nother ticket. Like the fees alone are a whole nother expense. And it's like, and then I was like, fuck it. No, not doing it. Like, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. And I ended up getting Gracie Abrams is who she ended up going to. And it was like Taylor Swift light, basically. I mean, they were still expensive.
Put that on a shirt.
Yeah. But I mean, luckily she loved it. Like she loved Gracie Abrams, and it was a fun show, and it was this whole thing. But like, I just couldn't stomach being like, oh, we're gonna go. Like a kid like me being like, growing up, I went to a million shows growing up, and it was like $10, $5, $20, and then to be like, oh no, my kid gets to go to shows that are costing me the same as buying a car. Mm-hmm. It's like, no, dude, fuck you. Like, start going to local shows. Like, respect local people. Like, you don't need to, like, whatever. And again, I did buy her pricey tickets for sure, but it wasn't the,
that's
$6,000 worth of tickets.
Right, is why we do that kind of all inclusive. Here's what your shirt's going to cost. That's all they care. That's all they want to know. And then we kind of double down on that mindset and go, your screen charge is free, and then savings of $50. Or
I'm that way where I don't have like all these fees. Like I do have a line item that says screens though, from like, obviously there's like 10 years of everyone charging screens. There's still people that charge screens, but like I have a line item now that says free screens. So when I quote somebody, I do, like 100/2 color front, 2 color back on a Gildan 5000. This is the price. The immediate next line underneath is free screens and setup.
Perfect.
Like I could just not say anything, but I don't want them to mentally think like, oh, but what other fees am I going to have? Like I want them to know this is the price, and then this is free screens, free setup.
Yeah.
So the only thing I have on my invoices is I do break it down like smalls are this, mediums are this. Like they're all the same, but then 2X and stuff is more, and then shipping. Like I don't have any extra fees added in at the bottom unless it's something crazy of like,
there's exceptions.
I do add in like, okay, it's neck tags or it's folding and bagging or it's this or this, but like, do you just lump that in to be like, all right, well, I did the math and it's a t-shirt's going to be $15.25 or something?
Yeah, no, when it comes to the lump sum, like we just want to make sure they know what that price is going to be for whatever that garment is. But still, like if there is a fold and bag tag, like that's an extra thing we got to do, and they're going to understand that it's not a fee,
right.
It's another
an extra
tag. Yeah, it's just it's other things so that they know what those are. I don't ever want them to like have all those extras lumped in and it's a $35 shirt, and it's just like,
the hard part, and I think the reason why people do that and especially like Ticketmaster and all this other stuff, is it's like the buy-in, the initial impulse response.
Yeah.
Because it might be, everyone needs shirts for an event or whatever, but their initial look at people is like the first glance of like, oh, well, this guy says he can do it for $3.99. Well, the truth is he can do it for $3.99, but then there's all these fees. So like there might be a guy over here and then you, and realistically at the end of the day, you're both going to be $15 or $12 a shirt or whatever, but you're advertising to them, here's my quote, and you're giving them $15. They're giving them $3.99 plus this fee, plus this fee, plus this fee, plus this fee.
Yeah, I don't like
but they
that.
don't really get those fees until they get so far. It's like us going back to the screen printing thing of like, I'm too deep now. I can't go back. Like they're 4 emails deep with that customer. They won them over at the $3.99 price.
I
but then
like
they
that.
find out when it's too far down the line that, oh, it's actually $15. It's the same as Brigade. I could have gone there in the first place.
See, I don't want to be the guy that then leads. It's a lead on, right? It's this like, here. And I'd rather it be like, I appreciate that. I may get less people initial like that. Ooh, a $3.99 guy, and I have a lot more clients. But there's this nasty feeling at the end of it where it's like, fuck this guy, man. He got $3.99. I'm paying $14.50.
Like, at least take me to dinner first. Like,
that's the feeling I don't like. Like, let's just be honest. Yeah, you're gonna get laid tonight, but it's just like
right.
Get to me up front, and then it's a longer. It's a longer timeline for me. I plan on doing your business and your shirts for as long as you're in business. I want to be here 25 years with you guys. I don't want to be a one shirt, gotcha, $3.99, sucker, and then just go to the next guy. I'm a relationship guy. I want to see your business thrive. We do a lot of that we do every brewery here in Boise. Like if you have a brewery here in town, we do your merch. And so if you only need 20 of those shirts, I'm not going to give you a minimum of 60 and then make you eat that and sit on that money. I'd rather you do multiple orders with us because then they're excited. They're happy. They're ready to call me and give me an order because they know there's no minimum. There's a business to business relationship that I'm doing what I'm doing to help you be more efficient. And I'm reaping the benefits because you're doing good. If I can't do a good job with everything I do, not just the quality and how we print stuff, but what I do financially for you and don't lock you up and don't make you feel like you're stuck or that you have to order certain stuff, like I'm just as much a part of your business as you are as the owner. And so it's a different mindset. It's a very much owner of multiple companies mindset. Mm-hmm. And yeah, we get burned. We eat it every once in a while, but I've done it long enough now to where it's like, you can tell when someone walks in that they're just here to get some cheap shirts. And I'm going to get the free setup screens for their 8-color design. I can call those out pretty quick. And then there's other ones where it's like, oh, these guys just need help. They're a startup. They're a brand new business. There's breweries just getting going. They put everything into the tile flooring of this freaking place, and they just need to get a couple shirts on the wall. And it happens. Like we had this brand new shop in town, Burt's Brewing. They only needed a few shirts. They had some great designs. They put a bunch of money into the marketing, the design, and the great artwork. And I was like, don't worry about it. We're going to make all your screens for free. We're going to get you up on the wall. That grand opening is going to look beautiful, and you're going to sell out that first day. And then you're going to call me, and we're going to double that. And then when we double that and we sell it, we're going to triple that. They're our number one brewery. And they started with, I ate $800 in setup fees. I was hoping that they sold out.
You made that back.
Yeah. It's because I look at it as a bigger picture. I want to be printing their shirts until that, that brewery has been sold to Budweiser and we're all sitting on a beach somewhere.
Wakeboarding.
Yeah, exactly.
I did want to touch on the promo thing only because I'm in a similar pickle. I've had Upstate now for about 16 years and I have never offered promo. And I dip my toe in the water every so often because I'll get somebody who's like, I need a tumbler or I need a fucking sunglasses or whatever. And I'll order something here or there. Well, recently we had an episode with Ross from Rock. And one of the things that popped up was talking about promo. And he was basically like, hey, you're a fucking moron if you don't offer promo. And then I, had to wipe my single tear away because I was a moron. But the truth of it is I'm invulnerable wise. Like I have that issue like you were talking about of like, it's hard for me to let that go. It's hard for me to trust in someone else taking care of a product that I have no say in, or I'll get burned or all whatever. But, every friend and every whatever in the industry I talk to is like, oh yeah, I make X tons of money with promo. And it generally works out. Like there are hit and miss here and there, but for the most part, it works out. So anyway, I recently started talking because ASI reached out after that episode and was like, hey, we heard your thing and we want to help. And whatever, I kind of want to start looking into it, to be honest. Like I talked to them. I was like, hey, this is straight up. Like I just said what I just said to you. It's like, hey, I'm a scaredy cat. I'm whatever. I kind of want to start doing promo, but I need you guys to like walk me through like I'm a moron from the beginning of like, this is how this is done. Because what I would really love to happen is for there to be, and this probably exists, I just don't know about it, is like a broker somewhere that's just like, hey, I have a customer right now who's looking for mugs with this logo on it. I could just give it to that person. They do the research. They're like, here's 3 mugs. Like, don't give me the catalog. Just be like, there's the 3 most popular mugs. Here's the pricing for you. This is what you charge them. And I'm like, cool. I go back to the customer. I'm like, hey, here's 3 mugs. Here's the pricing. They order mug A. I contact Susan and she's like, I'll order them for you. It's done. Like, that's what I want. Like, that's what I really want, because all I've learned, and again, this is me being ignorant. I know there's people listening to this to do promo and they're like, you're an idiot. What I see and what's scary, and this is what I told ASI, is like, to me, it seems like I'm walking into a warehouse of 1 billion products and I don't know where to start. And I don't know who's a good person that does mugs, because there's 900,000 companies that do mugs. Yeah. And there's this and this. It's like, I just want the quick and dirty. Like, here's the top 3 places that do golf balls. Here's the top 3 places that do tumblers. Here's this, they're rated.
Yeah, like, you almost see the Amazon version of it where it's like,
right. I want to literally search this, and I want the Amazon, like you said, where it says like, what does it Amazon say? It says like preferred item, or like most ordered item, or this is the one. I always look at the stars. I'm like, okay, 30,000 people have reviewed this and it's at a 4-star. I just want, oh, okay, cool. I'm going to order mugs from this place, and this, I know they're going to be okay. Yeah. So I don't know if I'm just venting to you or asking you a question, but like, I'm going to start giving some of myself to learning this promo space. And I feel like it's mostly just because the more and more I deal with these bigger clients that we have, they are going to somebody else for those items. Yeah. And they'll still stay with me for screen printing. That's cool. And I'm happy to do that. But I also feel like I should maybe put my foot in instead of my toe in and be like, okay, well, I can help you get X, Y, and Z. So I wanted to hear what you were thinking, if we were just in the same mindset of like, I don't want to do it because I don't have control.
I'm very similar to how your feelings are. Like, listening to you talk about that, I think that's exactly how I would have explained myself. I'm not even dipping my toe in it yet, just because we are so focused on what we can control and what we can make here, and what, it just comes down to the simple fact of, if anyone walks in here, I know that we can get it done. I don't like the idea of some, Nancy making these mugs, and if she can't get it done in time, I've done everything right. We got every one of your hats, every one of your shirts, your hoodies look great at all. It's a
right. Like, you could burn that client where they're like, oh, you screwed up the mugs. I'm not going to do anything with you.
Yeah, and the amount of margin on that, like you said, you can just hear all the promo guys in our ears right now as we're talking, going, you guys leave money on the table. You guys leave money on the table. And it's like, well,
I'm glad you're the one who mocked them, because I was thinking about it. I was like, I really want to make fun of these people, because they're that guy who jumps out of nowhere and they're like, yeah, but it's fucking free money, bro. And it's like, dude, fuck you. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't give a shit. Like,
the money isn't the thing for me. It's the customer relationship. And
I don't want to look this person in the eye that I built a relationship with, that I fucking cuddled, and I got to the point where like they're a good client, now to be like, oh, well, your fucking golf balls are 3 weeks late, or they came back wrong, or whatever. And it's like, God damn, why did I bother? Like, because that's always what happens to me. I'm that guy who like goes above and beyond on something and then gets burned, and it's like, why do I try?
It's a time thing. I think it takes too much time. I'm always trying to focus on the time that I can do what I do best. And if I'm taking time going through catalogs and swiping through stuff to find their next best, oven mitt, and there's no excitement in it too. Like, me even saying
it's always an oven mitt.
I care about your oven mitt. Like, that's not going to be beneficial. And I may piss off a lot of promo guys. Like, most of the promo stuff is not beneficial to those companies. Like, handing out pens is not going to actually benefit your company. That, like, if you want to do something that is actually worth the money that you're spending on promo, not that a shirt or a hat is any better. But if you do it right and you control it right and you give them the margin that's a little better, and then now it's a speaking point and there's so much more you can do with it when you control all that, instead of going, yeah, I got your golf ball, see you at the tournament. It's like, I think of it a little bit different in the sense of when I'm selling what we make to those people, that it's not just something with their name on it. It's something that does more than that. And a promo product just feels cheesy to me.
I feel like there is, like, to be devil's advocate, I feel like there is the basic stupid bullshit where you're like, who needs a stress ball? Like, who needs this little thing? Whatever. But there are, like, so much research, and I've gone to seminars and seen this, like, these really work. Like, I'll bring up the pen thing from Print Hustlers, but they were like, why? And I thought about this the other day too, is like, oh, well, why don't you order a shitload of pens and take pens to the places that need pens, like a hospital? And it's like, there's a million pen. No one ever has a pen. And it's like, go to the fucking hospital, find a nurse, and just be like, hey, here's 10,000 pens with Brigade screen printing on it. And just, like, don't say anything to anybody. Just put pens everywhere. Like, every cup on every counter has a fucking Brigade pen in it. Or you go to the bank and you're always finding that pen that's got, like, a leaf taped to it where it's chained to the wall. It's like, just replace those with Brigade screen printing pens. Like, just give away the fucking pens. Because then it's just like, okay, if they get swiped, if they go home with them, there's a pen and it's got your name on it, whatever. Like, that's where I believe in the promo stuff. And again, like, I have so many, you're talking about breweries. Like, I go to the brewery that I helped not create, but, like, I helped grow with. And I look at their wall and I'm like, cool, these are all the shirts I made. These are all the hats I made. This is all the hoodies. And then there's this whole section that I didn't touch that I feel violated because they're going to someone else for. And I'm like, fuck, like, I really want to figure out how I can be that guy that they go to for, whatever this item is or something. That's where I feel like I want to help them, because they're going to buy them anyway. Like, why not buy them from me is what I'm thinking. So again, like, ASI, I kind of want to, like, maybe get into a learning experience more with them and kind of figure out my journey. Because I told them straight up, I was like, hey, I think it would be cool for the show if, like, I got into this and then, like, every week I kind of talked about what I learned. And also, hey, it could go to hell and I could be like, hey, this didn't work out for me, but it might work out for you. Also, I'm asking, like, on the show right now, if that thing of a freelancer is real, where they will figure out all the promo stuff for me and quote me, I will 100% do that. Like, if you know of a person like that, hit me up, because I will do that tomorrow.
I mean, if they're going to listen and take the inside boots to the ground guy's opinion on that, then that should be the first thing they should be working on. Like, if that's a stranglehold for some of us that aren't doing it, that should be the first thing that they're working on. And
I think that's the reality, is, like, when they were talking to me, is, like, the hard part is, like, convincing, and not to sound salesy, but, like, being like, hey, we have a product that really will help you and will really make you money. Because again, there's those bros, like we were making fun of, that are like, oh, promos, so much money on the table. But in reality, they're right, of, like, there is so much money on the table that we're leaving if it's done right.
Yeah.
But I don't have the time and energy to, like, figure out all the perfect items and, like, all this other stuff. Like, I know shops that I trust that are like, yeah, we have a promo person we hired who literally just, like, finds new promo items, mocks things, talks to all these different places and whatever. It's like, to be completely blunt and honest, I don't have that person. I don't have the drive right now to be like, I want to figure out how to better sell golf balls. Like, if there's an easier way, then let me know, because I just don't know. It's not my thing. I'm not going to get on this podcast and be like, I know everything about everything. I don't. Fucking, if someone listening knows better than I do, hit me up. Tell me.
Oh, man.
Leave me a comment. I don't know.
I agree. I know we're leaving money on the table. I know there's money to be made, but I think it's a personal, like, I don't like the feeling that promo, what it does, I don't feel the value is there in the sense of for their business, right? I never want a business to spend money on things that I don't think is actually beneficial to them. I also took it a little bit to heart to, like, yeah, when you're in that brewery and you see the pens and the stickers maybe that you didn't do, it's like, but then at the same time, it's okay. Like, it's okay that we don't do it.
Yeah, but
all.
The reason why I bring that up and why it's just a twinge in my side is it's gone the other way for me. Like, I do all the screen printing and I was, like, helping them do embroidery. And then all of a sudden embroidery started to go away a little bit, like, here and there. And then I would go to the brewery and I would see the pens and the shot glass, whatever it was. I don't know what the fucking items they had. But then I saw hats with patches on them that I didn't do. And then I talked to them and they were like, well, the place that does this, this, and this also offers patches.
Okay.
And they were a little more helpful in that scenario than you were, but they knew that I outsourced my embroidery. So I can't argue like, well, we do it because the person they're getting it from is outsourcing it too. And it's like, well, I can't argue like, oh, I can do it better because we're just both outsourcing shit. So
right.
I saw that go away. So that's my fear is like you were saying, like the opposite of that is I could screen print this and this and this and this, but then they want to get mugs and then the mugs makes them go away because the mugs were shitty. It's the same thing of like, well, they're ordering this, this, and this from someone else. And then I slack off somewhere or we have a bad shit happens, errors happen. I don't want them to get pissed about that and immediately call that promo company. And they're like, well, do you fucking do hoodies too? Because shipper brains over here fucked up our last batch of hoodies and I'm over it. That's where I'm kind of like,
gives them the opportunity to do that. I think one of the things we do to try and eliminate that is upsell in other ways. I think everyone, all the promo guys can be like, well, promo is what you can upsell. There's other things and other services that you can upsell. Like one of the things we do is we offer a merch store. Everyone would love to have a website that has all their apparel. Yeah. They're a brewery, they're a brick and mortar, but then we'd love to sell online. So we started doing just Shopify stores that, depending on the brand and the size and the company, what are we charging, how are we setting that up? But it's another upsell thing that then takes and eliminates a little bit of that leaving, right? It's almost like you've given them all the screen charges for free and we've got this catalog of screens on the rack ready for it all the time. It's like, I don't want to have to leave and go to another company and then pay for the screens again. It's the same thing. Like you can upsell that Shopify store, which then gives you a little control to help them sell more.
They're more locked in at that point because you've done all the work.
Yeah, it's a locked in. It sounds ugly because you're locking them in, but at the same time, you're giving them a service that's benefiting them. So it's a win both sides. But there's other things to upsell that I think you can still control and have in-house to make the money maybe you're missing up on promo and not have to deal with the headache of what promo is for our opinion on it all. But I think it's a pretty sensitive subject right now, and like what's the right way to go?
Well, like I said, I'm just being vulnerable. Like I'm learning. I don't know what I don't know, and it's an avenue. Like we were talking about, video game thought behind all of this is like I have a screen printing shop right now that is well managed and is taken care of by my management. Like I don't need to do it. The shop runs itself. So now I'm looking for that next level video game where I'm legit thinking about getting into embroidery and promo. Like if I have the free time now to put into these things, like I guess I'll learn a whole new skill. Like, so what I'm saying on the show is like, I might start diving into these things and sharing my experience. Cause that's what this is. It's like, I'll be honest about what I'm learning and what I'm figuring out. So I don't know. Maybe I'll do it. Maybe I won't. Christina mentioned that you were like, hey, I'm not doing promo. And I was like, well, I guess I'll talk to him about that because I feel like we're similar boats, but I'm willing to hear it out and willing to learn. So
yeah, I'm always
and not from the bros. Like I'm not willing to learn it from the bros. I'm willing to learn it from, reliable sources, not just people being like, hey, you fucking idiot. Like,
well, I mean, you and I both said we don't have that guy here at the shop that maybe we need to hire a bro. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But we're at the point now. I want to ask you: did you have any shop hacks other than the hire women because they're smarter and better than us?
I think that's the biggest hack.
Own 35 businesses. Is that a life hack?
That is not a life hack. You can ask my wife on that one. That is not a life hack at all. There's really there's no hack to what we do in my mind. I mean, just thinking out loud and being vulnerable on that as well. Like, there's no cheater way to do what we do. What we do is very hard work. What we do is very physical. What we do is like I don't know if we've mentioned that. Like, we have no automatics here, and I have all women. We all push ink here. It's just really loving what you love about screen printing. Like, you have to really care about it. Same thing with embroidery that we do here, the vinyl wrap. Like, we do everything here except promo. And the only hack I can say is that if you don't love waking up every day to do it, then don't come in. Like, because it's that hard.
The hack is that if you don't like it, don't do it. End of hack.
It's hard. Yeah, it's not easy to do.
That's the most bare bones hack ever. That's like inventing the wheel of like, well, if you don't like pushing square things,
Yeah, exactly. Oh, we didn't
do this instead.
We didn't talk about our live screen printing. So that's one of our big things that we do.
The one thing I wanted to ask about the live printing thing is like, I mean, I guess I know why now because you're addicted to entrepreneurship, but why did you want to get into that? And you don't just do basic stuff either. You have a whole trailer, right?
Yeah, we've got two 40-foot trailers that we just call them the food trucks for merch. And we roll up to events and get booked at corporate events and literally open up like a food truck and have multiple design options and multiple options in apparel and colorways and styles available for people depending on the event. But yet we is another kind of happy accident in the sense of like someone asked if it's an option, and I didn't even know live screen printing was a thing, but our local music festival, Boise Music Festival, was like, hey, we want to have apparel. We've never had merch, but we have 30,000 people and we don't want to get stuck with dates, artist names on the back of shirts. Like we just don't want to get stuck with stuff. And we were brainstorming, trying to figure out ways to figure that all out. And I just like jokingly said, well, let's just throw my press on a heater in the middle of the field and start screen printing shirts for people. And he kind of went, is that possible? And I'm like, oh shit, here we go. And that's kind of how it all started, was that festival. And it was me on a silver press trying to print shirts as fast as we could for 30,000 people. And then it's just every event we learned and adjusted and pivoted and found systems. And it's a very systematic process and trying to find every little piece to work as efficiently as possible.
We've done live printing for a long time, and I haven't taken it to the extent of some of my friends where it's obviously like a global thing and they're flying and they're doing all this other stuff.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing for me with live printing is twofold. One, the marketing. It's amazing to market your business because you're going to a big party or a big corporate thing or whatever. And as long as you're not white labeling it like Family does, where they go to, these events and they are Adidas or they are Levi's or whatever the hell it is. Like I'm going as Upstate. So when I go, there's an Upstate tent, like all of our stuff, whatever. It's great for marketing because everybody's walking up to your table. They're ordering a shirt for the event, but they're also like, oh, I do own a brewery or I do own this thing and I need shirts or whatever. So we always walk away from an event with more business, like always. I don't think there's ever one where we've gone where we haven't got some kind of contact. Two is it's fun as fuck. Like I love doing these events and I'm at a brew fest and I don't even drink. Like I like going because I'm at a party and I'm also selfishly part of the entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I just get to go and hang out and be a part of it, but also share to that audience what I love to do.
Yeah.
And my favorite part of it is letting them do it.
Yep.
So some kid or woman or man or whatever comes up to the table and they're like, oh, I want to buy a shirt. And I look over the press and I'm like, you want to do it? And they're like, can I? And I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, dude, get over here and like show them how to print, and they print their own shirt. And it's like, it's just fulfilling to be like, hey, I just taught you, I just showed you, like I let you in on my little secret, basically. I was like,
yes,
this is the thing. So
that is the win from it for sure.
Yeah. But I recently have been like hired to do some of these bigger events that's like new to me. Like I've done it for years, like in New York. And now I'm getting asked to do these events like in bigger places and stuff. And I'm learning that it's a whole new fucking ball game.
Yeah,
so
it's a big market. That's what I was just going to say. We just got back from Las Vegas. We did the ServiceNow Knowledge Tech Expo. We did it for we got hired by a client to do it for one of the big booths. One of Cognizant was the company we did it for, and it's more of the fan, where you're the trailer's wrapped as that company, you go as them,
right.
And you're just the entertainment. They've prepaid for the shirts, and it's however many shirts they want to give out. And we actually had one of their speakers was a F1 racer for Austin Martin, and for the promo he was there getting his free shirt, and we're like, come up, dude. And the F1 racer, you would think F1 racer, there's only 20 in the world or whatever, and he was like enthralled with what screen printing was. He'd never seen it, and I'm like, dude, you drive cars at 300 miles an hour, and this is cool. He's like, this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. Yeah, this is like,
perfect. You nailed it. Yeah, yeah.
What we do is still cool. I mean, it's so old school, and they're like, it's really cool to see. Like, nothing's really changed with screen printing, right? It's still what our parents or grandparents did in school. Like, it's
pulling ink through a screen. Yeah.
And to see a kid that's 7 years old going, what? That's like magic to see a blank shirt, and then all of a sudden there's an image. Like, that is kind of the cool part of it. And like you said, it's a great way for my staff to kind of let loose and be out and get out of the shop and be with people. And it's a party. It is. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I love it. All right, next question, because that was a long ass shop hack. Greatest shop fail.
Whew. Yeah, greatest shop fail.
I mean, with you, you've had multiple careers. You could be like, it could be about wakeboarding.
Yeah, I think my greatest fail in business in general is knowing when to say no. Kind of that whole Mets, when you were saying you're going to make shirts for the Mets, and it's okay to tell people I can't do that. That's probably the biggest fail I've made in my life, and I learned a lot of it from the wake surf company, where it was like this huge nationwide dealership said, yeah, we want boards for every one of our dealerships. And immediately you're just like, business, money. Yes, that keeps our business going. And then you actually can't do it. You physically just can't get it. You can't get the materials. You can't meet the deadlines. And then you completely let that guy down. And now you're refunding money. And now you're out all that time. Like, that was probably my biggest fail, in the sense of like, oh, you can't just say yes to it. You got to actually be able to do something.
And the worst part about that too is when you have a massive client or someone who's very well known in their space and you let them down, they have no problem letting know every person they know that you ate it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's what they want to do, is get on the horn with all of their friends and be like, hey, you wouldn't believe, like, don't ever go to this place. They suck.
Yeah.
Well, you could have done a great job for them and they would just never tell any of their friends because they're like, oh, I got a guy.
Yeah.
Right. So
yeah, no, that's
gotta
probably
learn
the one. I mean, another thinking back to the hack too is kind of being as quick to fire as you are hire. Don't hire someone and then they're junk and then just drag them along like a bad relationship with a girlfriend, right? Like,
that's my hardest thing.
They're not good, far. Right? Like, just get rid of them, move on to the next one. Take your heart out of it. A mentor of mine, I said, think with your wallet, not with your heart. Sometimes I know they're good people. I know they're trying, but they just maybe can't fit in, or they're not going to work here. Fire them. Like, that's a classic Gary V type situation. Be as quick to fire as you are to hire.
Yeah. No, that is a good one. I just really suck at it. So I won't take your advice. I will hear you. I will nod and it will go in and out and it will never happen. I've come to terms that I hired the right people to hire and fire for me, because I am not that person. I just smile at the employees as they walk by and like hang out with them, but I will not be their boss. It's just not me. All right, quick takes. What shirt has your shop printed that you are the most proud of? And the answer is obviously that fucking
everyone is fucking that shirt. Yeah, by far.
If you could snap your fingers and change one major thing about your shop, what would it be?
Organization. We could be more organized, and that's 100% on my fault. Not letting all these women organize it better. Thinking,
is that a physical shop organization or a software issue?
It's more of a. I guess it's a software is the answer, but not really the answer. It's taking everything that's in my head on the computer, on the phone, and getting it out to the people so they can be more efficient with it and be more organized with it, and get like it's still too all on my shoulders in the sense. I need it to be delegated a little bit better.
I'm not the greatest person to talk to you about that, but if you do want to dive into that, I have a lot of friends who that's their jam. So if after this episode, if you want to reach out to me, I can definitely point you in the right direction. I'm just not that guy to talk to about it. I am very, very well organized. I just have my own system that I've used for forever. And when people ask me, they're like, oh, what do you do? I'm like, well, I use this and this and this. Yeah. And that's why, to sum all that up, people just say Dylan uses fucking Post-it notes. It's not what I do, but that's
pretty much what I do.
It's its own system. Yeah.
Yeah, it's my own system that isn't efficient for anyone else to use. It's efficient in my own brain and my own system, but that's not scalable.
Yeah. It's just something that we got used to over years. And I mean, it works great. It's not like I bought Printavo or something. It's like, It's my own thing.
We are pretty old school in the sense of that aspect of it, because we went from surfboards to screen printing. So we really had no one to even show us or, nothing to compare to. And so, we've got a big giant whiteboard that's got, all the jobs broken down into screen printing and all of the embroidery, all the different things we do. And then it's a physical printout of paper that then is, ordered and goes through all the different processes, which is old school, but it works for us right now. It's not the most efficient, and it's always going to get better. I feel like we're always adjusting and changing how that system works so that it is better, but it's pretty old school.
Yeah. No, I mean, hey, it works. Last question. That's just for me. Top 4 favorite movies of all time.
Shawshank Redemption, The Matrix. Whew, man. I'm a big movie guy. I don't watch a lot of them anymore. Top Gun's probably up there.
Top Gun was in like a recent episode. Nicole from Embellisher said Top Gun.
Wow, nice. What's Forrest Gump? Actually, that's one where every time it's on, I gotta watch.
Hell yeah, you definitely have a vibe then, because you're in a. I feel like the vibe of movies you just listed are like, I would say in the feels would be a vibe.
Yeah.
Like Shawshank, he's getting wronged and he fights his way out and says, fuck you to the man. Matrix is 100% a fuck you to the man. Mm-hmm. Forrest Gump is him overcoming his issue and becoming like better than anyone thought.
Playing every video game and beating every one of them. And
then Top Gun's the same thing as Tom Cruise being like, well, fuck you guys. I'm the best regardless of my situation.
Yeah, and the sequel,
I'm going to prove you wrong.
The sequel lived up.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
Just with younger people.
Yeah.
Same story. Well, hey, Shawn, I really appreciate you doing this with me, man. You have a great story. I'm glad you made it through all of those things. I'm glad you're not still an electrician. As cool as that is, I respect those people, and I'm kind of pushing my son to be like, hey, you want to be an electrician?
Great gig.
I'm glad you joined the rest of us degenerates and became a printer.
I'll be part of the punk rock print team all day long. I love it.
And now I'm going to Google all the Brigade businesses and see what you're all into.
Yeah, take it. Do it over the weekend. It might take you a while.
Yeah, for sure.